We are officially recording. In the zone, right?
Posture check.
What?
A little posture check.
Yes,
I feel like there's no way for me to have a good posture.
No, you're trapped, dog.
Yeah, my bad.
All right. Welcome back to the what are we called? Welcome back to the Pack Magik podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Gertis, aka Franklin, and my co-host Furter, aka
White Lightning, aka Connor.
Today we are going to be talking mainly about the new Pokemon game Legends ZA and kind of giving a more comprehensive review on the game. We're going to rank all of the new megas. We're going to rank the trainers and talk about basically everything that there is going on in Legends ZA as a whole and kind of what we think. There may be some spoilers, but we're going to try not to spoil like the ending or any like post-game stuff. Anything that's like too critical, we'll do our best not to spoil.
However, watch at your own risk.
Yeah, watch at your own risk. And, we will be showing off all the megas. And so there may be some spoilers.
Trainers as well.
Yeah, and all the trainers. So there may be some minor spoilers with that. But let's dive into it.
Let's get it.
So, first and foremost, what the internet is saying about the game. I feel like 3 major points that the internet's sticking to right now.
Okay. I feel like I've seen 2 really explicit opinions where there's like the glazers, the people that are just anything Pokemon related is going to be a positive no matter what happens. They're going to like it. For myself, I feel like I was one of those people for a long time. I definitely have strayed away from that, but I've seen a lot of that on the internet.
But you've generally been pretty pessimistic about,
So, some of them. I mean, I try and be honest with them. I have a lot of nostalgia wrapped up in like the sprites of the earlier generations, as well as just the gameplay mechanics of some of the earlier generations. But I've definitely treated some of those more harshly than I should have as time goes on.
Yeah, I do remember because, by the way, fun fact, everybody, we used to live together for a long time. Yeah. But I remember that something that you brought up in a time that you spoke fondly of is when we were very young, like in 5th or 6th grade, how when Diamond and Pearl came out,
classic.
You came over and we just sat for like 3 days straight or something, just like only playing Diamond and Pearl at my house.
Yeah, that was good. We've done that for quite a few games.
Quite a few of the games, many Pokemon games, we've just gotten together and just binged through them. It's kind of nice because in a way, we've kind of done that again.
Yeah.
Here we are doing it again because
doing it.
That was 2010, I think is when that came out.
Give or take.
So, maybe it was 2009. So how long has that been? Like 15 years, something like that? 15 years. That's crazy that we've kept it up for in some way. I guess because we're living together during Legends Arceus as well. Yeah,
and I think Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah, absolutely we were. So that's great.
I think we both consistently played every single mainline. I think even probably most of the offshoot Pokemon games as they release since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
I played Pokemon Blue version when that was the only Pokemon game available. So
yeah, I played a little bit of it, but I didn't really get started until I got a copy of Silver version for Christmas one year. I remember.
So you're like 2 years late to the party.
Yeah.
In 1999 or something like that.
Exactly. 2003.
Was it 2003?
I think it was about 2003.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyways, first impressions. Some people are loving it, obviously. And the people who aren't loving it have mainly only been saying one thing, which is what's up with the windows.
Oh God. I mean, fair. They got a point. The windows look like shit. Everything looks like shit, to be honest. They are using decade-old sprites. All of the sprites that I see in the game are the exact same Sword and Shield sprites that we got on the first Nintendo Switch Pokemon game release. They haven't changed it at all.
Yeah. And a part of me wonders if that Pokemon games are just not intended to look good. I mean, think about the games that were coming out in like 2010. Okay. We had like Skyrim was coming out. Huge, beautiful game. What else came out in 2010 was, I believe it was Pokemon Platinum. Like, if you were to compare the graphics of the two, of course, not, like it's about this pixelated thing. It's like, it is all sprites and pixels, and like, it's not intended to look realistic. Of course, the device can't handle really too much of that.
Sure, but I mean, things like Tears of the Kingdom exist. You know, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom looks good, runs fine on the Nintendo Switch 1.
How long was Tears of the Kingdom in development?
Oh God, who knows?
A long time.
Yeah.
It was like at least like 8+ years, right?
I mean, how long was what was the release duration between Tears of the Kingdom and
Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
I don't know. A long time.
But
it was like
presumably in production since before Breath of the Wild came out. Because that's how long, I mean, AAA titles take forever to develop their games.
Okay. Tears of the Kingdom came out May of 2023.
Okay.
And then Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. So actually only 6 years.
Okay. So that's a reasonable turnaround on a huge franchise, big title. You know?
Right. But
this is a huge franchise and this is a big title for them.
However, they in Tears of the Kingdom, they basically reused the entire map. Like, so much was reused assets.
Yeah.
If
only they had some assets to reuse for Pokemon.
Right. But the follow-up question is, do we want to wait 6 to 8 years for a new Pokemon game?
God, I mean, no, but at the same time, they've had more than enough time to update the sprites at minimum. I mean, the character models look exactly like Sword and Shield character models. These sprites are exactly Sword and Shield sprites. I mean, like, I've been using a Gyarados my entire playthrough, and it is exactly the same. It isn't just very similar. Every animation is straight up ripped out of another game.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's not something that's a huge deal for me, but it's like, I can't not think it's lazy.
Right. It feels lazy, but again, it's the release window time. Like, do you want to wait double the time for a game just to make sure that the sprites are all unique? Right.
Not necessarily. Like, I don't necessarily need the sprites to look good. Like, I've been playing Pokemon games forever, and the Sword and Shield definitely didn't look good. Scarlet and Violet somehow looked worse than Sword and Shield. But when I look at Legends Arceus versus Legends ZA, this is like the minimum spiritual successor to the game.
Right.
Legends Arceus looks better on almost every single metric. I've been thinking about it. Every single thing that Legends Arceus did, Legends ZA did a little bit worse. At minimum.
Yeah.
The way that the stealth mechanic is worse. The way you catch Pokemon is worse. Where in Legends ZA, you had these cool, unique balls where the heavy ball felt heavy to throw and the fastball zoomed across the map.
Cool.
Yeah, it was all really cool. And they didn't do any of that stuff. None of that is in the game.
I didn't even think about that, actually.
There's no more mobility. You can't ride a Pokemon to get on the roof. You can't ride a Pokemon through the streets to get around faster. All things that Legends Arceus did. The uniqueness of the biomes, what we talked about last time, completely absent.
Yeah.
It is one motif and it looks okay. I mean, if you don't look at the doors, you're fine. It looks like a nice city, but that's all there is. Every street is the same as the street before it, and there's no variance to the formula whatsoever.
Yeah, I get that. As I've played more and more, I definitely do see like some variety in like the areas. Like, there is definitely like, a lot of people say like the NPCs just like dead in the eyes and are just like non-responsive.
Yeah.
But there are actually many times where I see Pokemon doing things in special areas where I'm like, that's interesting. Like, I one time climbed up onto a building and there was literally a Pansage sleeping on the ground, and there's two Panseers that were like walking around it, like looking at it, like, what are you doing, bud? I went in and actually took a little photo, like because I was like, what did I just stumble upon that's happening here?
There's some like world building, and it's not fully devoid of immersion. It's not like there's none, but it feels very redundant. Every single time you see something, you're like, I've seen something very similar to this just a second ago.
Right.
And there's some interesting stuff that you can come across, such as what you've talked about there. A lot of the time, I felt that the Pokemon just felt slapped on a rooftop. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you on this roof? What is going on here? When there's a Pidgeotto and a Pidgeot on the roof, you're like, okay, they're birds. They land on roofs. But like, why is the Abra up here? Why is the Riolu just standing there menacingly? You know?
Yeah. Riolu, Abra, I would kind of understand. Riolu, I don't understand. How
did it get up there? Let him down.
Abra?
No, the Riolu.
Yeah, it's true.
Let him down, man.
Yeah, he's not.
He doesn't fly.
Yeah, so I completely get that. And again, it's like in terms of NPCs like having life, you know, like are we comparing it to like GTA? Because GTA is like, do we want to wait the same amount of time that we're waiting for GTA 6 for a Pokemon game? Because we're, you know, it's like the trade-offs,
right?
You know, like where do we give? And I know that they've been in development for a long time, but I do know we've heard leaks, there's a huge leak, and it seems like they're switching engines for the next game to increase the graphics dramatically. My concern a little bit about increasing the graphics and making everything look better is, will it continue to still feel like an actual Pokemon game? Or will it feel like some other developer, some other, you know?
Hard to say. I mean, did you feel that same problem when we switched from sprites to 3D models? I sort of did. A lot of my immersion was lost in the move from the handheld 3DS, DS versions of the game that still looked good. They were the best. In my opinion, those were that's the golden age of Pokemon design, because the sprites really did a good job of representing the feel of a Pokemon. And when we transitioned to 3D models, a lot of Pokemon got a downgrade. Many Pokemon got a huge downgrade. Like
right.
Typhlosion
got absolutely nerfed.
Like they what have they done to my boy?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's some weird stuff going on with Typhlosion anyway. So maybe
what did Typhlosion do to everybody's boys?
What did Typhlosion do to my boy? Yeah, exactly. But it was bad, and it still is bad because they still use those very same sprites. All of the sprites are exactly the same. We saw it in Legends Arceus, where they kind of gave specifically Typhlosion his glow up back, where they gave him the 3D model now has the flame mane. I mean, I don't know that Typhlosion's in this game, but
he's not. Sadly, RIP to the kid.
We can't tell for sure. But there was a lot of things that I feel like we lost immersion wise when the swap from like the true handheld to the Nintendo Switch happened. And I don't think that it really, obviously it didn't kill the player base. And I don't think that an additional change like that could do anything but upgrade upon what we're working with now, because what we're working with now, in my opinion, is pretty bad.
Right. I do fear for like too much upgrade too quick. I think it was fine. Like as a whole, they had kind of slowly worked up to it with Alola was like 3D and you know, it feels definitely very slow in quality increases. But I think that given the idea that over the past, 5 years, because Legends Arceus came out was it like a year before Scarlet Violet? Was it the same year that they came out?
I don't know if it was the same year, but it was within 1 year of each other.
Arceus came out in January, and the Scarlet Violet came out in like September or something, or October of that year.
We just looked at what Scarlet and Violet was, so sorry for double checking. But they were close. They were close in timeline. I think I remember playing Legends Arceus.
Same year.
Same year?
Same year.
Okay. In any case, I thought Legends Arceus was a good step in the right direction for like the overworld Pokemon. The 3D models in general looked a little bit better. The battle mechanics, I think, were something that suffered in that game because it just
just
stepped away from the model that we're all used to with the turn-based very strict. This is your turn. This is their turn. Where then it became that like fast attack, strong attack,
right,
kind of thing.
100%.
I don't remember. I meant to look it up. I don't know if abilities were a thing in Legends Arceus.
Abilities were a thing.
Yeah. Because they're not in ZA.
I didn't even think about that either.
Yeah,
they just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, so which is crazy because so many Mega Pokemon cared about an ability swap or an ability that they already had being exploited by the Mega Evolution. A good example is like Gyarados, right? So they compensated for this in ZA by giving some of the Pokemon's Mega Evolutions a 140 instead of 100 base stat increase. So in the mainline games, Mega Evolution is a strict 100 base stat increase. Where in this, because there's no abilities in the game, they change some of them to get a 140 and the other ones to 100 based on how badly they're suffering from not having an ability.
Interesting. I didn't know that actually. It didn't even register. Which is another point that I've thought about is how much would people dislike the game if they weren't coming from a frame of reference of past Pokemon games. Like if they just they never played Legends Arceus, they never played Scarlet Violet, they didn't play Sword and Shield, they just sat down and were like, I haven't played since the DS. Like, let's...
Sure.
Would they still feel the same ways about the game?
I think it would be a lot harder for those people to stomach the lack of effort, in my opinion. Just because if you haven't been playing Pokemon since the DS, but you've been playing some games on even if you're strictly a Switch player and you just somehow have never experienced the Switch versions of Pokemon games, I think that you'd be disappointed with the quality of the game.
I kind of disagree because like what I hear, okay, so the number one thing, the graphics, anybody coming from not Pokemon is going to complain mainly about the graphics because, and that if you're really complaining about the graphics, I don't think you've been in Pokemon long enough to be like, you know what, whatever, that the windows aren't perfect,
Right.
It is what it is. At least the windmills spin at 30
FPS,
at least, it's okay. Secondly, when I hear complaints, I hear exactly the same things we've been saying. It's well in Legends Arceus or well in Scarlet Violet or well in Sword and Shield. It's we're going off of a basis of other opinions, because it's coming from somewhere else. But if we didn't have those opinions to draw from, I think that there'd be just a lot more general enjoyment for the game. It's
hard to say.
It's strictly comparison.
First impressions, just to get that really concretely defined for me, I would say my first impression of the game was it was a slog. Like a lot of cutscenes, a lot of lazy design. The gameplay at its core when you're battling feels fine. It's a little clunky. It's a little awkward to have to hold the triggers down all the time in order to just battle regularly. Like you have to hold left trigger down the whole time because you have to be moving your character, moving your cursor to try and attack the enemy Pokemon. Sometimes in certain battles, you'll find that the enemy will either disperse some stuff along the ground that is also targetable, making it somehow, for whatever reason, they decided to add challenge by it's hard to target your target. Like literally, it is challenging for you to get into a position where while you're looking at your target, you can actually target it with your cursor.
Yeah, sometimes I could feel it being a pain.
And again, it's just adds a little bit of clunkiness, but it isn't game breaking. And as a matter of fact, the game's extremely easy. I haven't had any trouble with anything in the game so far as battles go. I mean, I'm a long time Pokemon player, so it's like I know that the one really strong Gyarados is going to be better than a team of 6 decent Pokemon.
Right.
So I mean, I've just been crushing every single thing.
You have good Pokemon knowledge to know what to get for what fights, and you know when you're going up against a certain Mega, its weaknesses generally like pretty snappy.
Right. So if you're going into it blind or somewhat blind, where you don't know much about Pokemon in general. You don't know about natures, and you don't know about type matchups, and you don't know how Mega Evolution really works from previous games. I could see the combat being a lot more challenging. I didn't find it very challenging, but I didn't find it unenjoyable. Combat is definitely the thing that I find this game does the best out of all of its things.
All right. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. All right. Let's take these one by one. So, number one, we tangent it a little bit. But what the internet's saying, going back to part 1 of 8 here, what the internet's saying, so the windows don't look great, but whatever. You know, Pokemon games never have looked absolutely stunning. You know, the watercolor look of Legends Arceus was cool, but is what it is. Second, the crazy NPC lines. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't seen anything that particularly stood out.
You haven't seen the where it was talking about how water Pokemon and the bodily fluids. You haven't seen that?
No.
All right, let's bring that up on the screen real fast here.
No, I guess I should have been reading what these guys were saying. But
this is funny. So,
what?
I'm sick and tired of this life. I just want to smell Pokemon.
Okay.
And here's another one. Hey, for water type moves, do you think Pokemon use their sweat or other bodily fluids?
Come on, man. Who's writing this stuff?
Dude, there is actually, and there's a few I've seen that have been like, what the fuck?
Yeah, somebody's getting put on a list.
Like,
a Game Freak.
That is crazy behavior.
I love it.
It's really funny.
That works for me because at least I'm getting something out of it.
Right.
Oh, but this is a song as old as time. Where does the swimmer keep her Pokeballs?
That's funny. Also heavy in Pokemon Legends ZA discourse, Mega Starmie has been a huge topic of
Sexy Patrick Star.
Yes, Sexy Patrick Star is indeed correct.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty funny.
Pretty lazy. I'm sorry. Like, that is really lazy design. They added 0 aspects to the Starmie and elongated 2 of its limbs. Period. That's it. That was the change.
I agree, but I like how it turned out in terms of it's really funny. Well,
let's get to the tier list.
Yes.
I also like how it looks, but
it is very funny for what it is.
But I don't know. Like, if I'm going to be doing a lot of comparison to other Pokemon games. Like, we could section it out to me pretending like I didn't have the experience that I do with Pokemon versus knowing the experience that I have and trying to see how I think I would feel versus how I do actually feel. But I mean, I have to compare it to the other games because I have experience with them. So it's really hard for me to not draw those comparisons. Specifically, I think that I would like to focus on comparing mostly to Legends Arceus.
Because it is the spiritual successor.
Right. It's supposed to be, I mean, they're at least named similarly. I don't know what we would consider these kinds of games if they're, they're not necessarily first party. They're not the Sun and Moon, Scarlet Violet, whatever. They're something else.
All right. There's one more part of
the internet.
The internet that's been heavily discussed. I've seen so much about this on my feed. It is actually ridiculous. And that is Emma's butt. Have you seen these posts?
No, I haven't seen any Gooner content for this yet.
I have seen so much of like people. This got 37,000 likes.
Man.
If I go here,
it's that easy, huh? Oh my god.
This is what someone else posted. Bro, the whole timeline is Emma's ass.
Jeez.
That's literally the first day that I played. I went on Twitter and I just saw people posting about that.
That's just crazy to me because the sprites are ass. Like the girl looks like a, Switch 1 model. We've seen this girl before. She just got a different face.
Yeah. I think it's also really funny. I saw someone do a comparison where they were showing Froaky's eyes and how they were like they didn't have like smooth polygons. It was like basically,
but the ass has smooth polygons.
Ass has all the polygons. So they're capable of making these
so you can do it. So you got the time.
They just are prioritizing where the polygons are gonna go.
Okay.
They can't put edges on the windows, but they can contour the shit out of a good ass.
The railing and the window are on the same plane of existence, but every millimeter of that ass is well defined. You can look at it from space.
Full, just absolute.
I wonder how that works on like render distance. I've been playing on Switch 1 and I've had no performance issues whatsoever. So yeah. I've been seeing, that was something that I saw the internet talking about a lot, was performance issues, especially on Switch 1. I'm like, that's crazy. I have experienced actually none of that.
Yeah. My brother was playing on the Switch 1 and he put it even up on the screen and I didn't see any issues whatsoever. It seemed totally fine. Yeah. So I hope no one gets like tripped up on like, oh, I don't have a Switch 2. You know, should I just wait to get it? No, just play the game. It's a great game. Okay, diving into the next topic, which is first impressions. You kind of covered some of yours. My first impressions were, I actually really was disappointed my first like 2 or 3 hours of the game. I
could see why.
I was sitting there thinking like, really, is this it? Like, am I just in this city? Like there's 5 wild zones. Like, dude, like it just felt like I was very optimistic about it. And then to sit there and be like, dude, this kind of sucks. Like this is like, and obviously everyone talks about the tutorial and it being very hand-holdy and whatever, which is what is fine. They've always done that. I feel like Sun and Moon held your hand to the very end of the game in some ways, you know? So it wasn't the biggest deal, but I felt very disappointed. After we all got completely scammed with their tiny spoiler alert, but you've probably seen something about it. You get totally scammed from jumping from rank, what was it, W or V or W
to like
rank F.
F. Yeah.
Yeah. After that point,
I can't think of 26 Pokemon trainers, you know?
Yeah. After that point, I began to enjoy the game a lot. That's where it kind of turned for me. That's where the story started to pick up for me. Because you start getting introduced to like actual main characters of the game, and that continue to.
But that's hours in. So your first impression isn't going to come from that. My first impression came from the longer than Alola intro of unskippable cutscenes that forced you every single time you walked anywhere into the open world. You get a notification on your Rotom phone that says, hey, you should go to whatever, because it's still the tutorial. Right. Because you've been in the tutorial for the first 3 hours of the game. Yeah, yeah. And so when I look at reviews, I've actually seen this in a few different reviews, and it really frustrates me to my core, and it has me completely rethinking the way I look at reviews in general. Is several of the reviews literally start with, we played several hours of the new Pokemon game, and then they leave a bad review. And I think to myself, yeah, I hated the first several hours too, but the many more hours I played were so very redeeming to me personally. How many hours in are you into? Probably like 25 hours.
25 hours. Yeah. I've just hit 40 hours.
Yeah.
So I've played a good amount. And so like there was one guy, Beat 'em Ups. Have you seen his channel before?
Probably.
He spends like the first 10 minutes of a review just pointing at the windows, and then he starts the video being like, I played several hours and this is how I felt about it. And I was like, dude, why you are influencing so many people to hate on Pokemon because you're talking about the worst part of a 40-hour game, you know?
Sure. And if that's the worst part of the game, it sounds like it would be a pretty good game.
Yes.
Because the Windows thing does nothing to you.
Right. It does not affect your life in the game.
It really is just an aesthetic choice that the landscape designer made for some reason. Yeah. Maybe just to spice things up. But
it's almost like
it looks really bad, but it does nothing to the gameplay experience whatsoever unless you're really bothered by every single window.
It's almost like they had millions of people complaining about performance issues in a previous game, and they were trying to find ways to ensure we had good performance on the previous gen console.
Completely.
So weird that we would get the thing that we're looking for, and they found a way to cut corners in a manner that does not affect our end game experience of playing the game itself, even if it's a bit of an eyesore at times. And also, I was thinking about it, and a lot of the windows I was looking at, and I thought to myself, if there were a balcony here, or this were to actually be popped out like it looks in the frame, you could easily get your character stuck inside of the little balcony, because they almost all have little balconies, and there's no mechanic to hop over like a railing.
Right.
So,
you can fall off the roof at almost any angle. So,
yes,
exactly. You'd be getting stuck a lot.
Yes.
But beyond that, I would 100% trade a solid performance for a bad looking window.
I don't want to sit in the fucking streets. I don't want to get into a Pokemon battle and he be barely able to move because he's trying to render 30 million polygons of all of the windows and all of the streets,
Yeah, I'm not really sure why that bothered so many people. Like, it is a good thing to look at and say, this doesn't look good. But I even looked at the reviews before I got a chance to play and told myself, like, I'm going to go find one of these windows. I haven't, because I don't even care. I completely forget that that's a thing while I'm playing the game because I'm doing other stuff.
Right.
And I don't care what the window next to me looks like.
Right.
A lot of the things that you're interacting with have nothing to do with the surfaces of the building. The only things that there are shops. And those shops, you don't even actually enter the building. They're just like a holographic wall on a, facade storefront. Even the Pokemon centers, they're not a real building that you enter. It's something that you just walk in and there's a open little corner of a street that you can do, the basics of healing and buying wares, selling your stuff. And I think that's good. I don't want to wait to load into the Pokemon Center and then load out of the Pokemon Center.
Exactly right. I want to get in and I want to do the things that I need to do so I can keep along on my journey.
Right.
Right. Speed is important.
So I don't think that those aspects of the game are a negative draw for me at all. I do have things that are a problem for me in the gameplay, but those are certainly not one of them. So I was surprised that the internet seemed to be so up in arms about the quality of the textures and stuff versus nobody was really talking about how well the game performs, which it does. It performs very well. I've had no issues whatsoever.
Okay, so going into our next topic, graphics and performance, because we're already kind of talking about it. What is your rating? Let's just say out of 10. Let's do for all of our reviews, because we're going to review every aspect. We're going to say out of 10. But for all of them, let's just say we can't use 7.
Sure.
All right, just to make sure we're defined on where we're at on how we're feeling about it. So all of these are out of 10. We can't use 7. Graphics and performance, where would you rate it?
Well, I'm going to split them into graphics and performance.
That's totally fair.
Because the graphics, I would give like a 2. The performance, I would give a 10. I have had no issues with the performance whatsoever. There's not been a single time that I felt like my game was about to crash. I've had no stuttering. No combat has ever felt like a pivotal moment hung on the performance of the game. All of it ran well. The reusing of sprites from Sword and Shield bothers me because I like to see, if we're going to do this live action, we're trying to put me into this immersion of a believable, real live action Pokemon battle. I don't believe it because the Pokemon look lifeless and dead because we're using sprites from 2010.
Right.
It just doesn't look very good. The textures on things like buildings and stuff look terrible.
Right.
There's no argument there.
Right.
They do look bad, but I think those aspects play into the good performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
The things that need to look good, like the wild zones and just the things that are animated, like the elevators and even like the Pokeball on the ground animations and stuff, they all look fine. They don't look so terrible that I don't believe that that's a Pokeball sitting there or a Pokemon walking through grass.
Sure.
So maybe 2 is a little harsh. I would give it like a 4.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me, performance, I can't really think about how performance could be much better because again, I had zero hiccups. I'm on Switch 2 though, so it's been very smooth. So yeah, I guess I would give it a 10. It's perfectly great performance. It performs well. It does the thing that it needs to do, for the most part. And for graphics, playing on the Switch 2, I would say it's maybe a 5. It's like, it could, like, I could lean either way. Like, I could say, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's good. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I can't really think of any modern games that look worse than it, though. So, yeah, maybe around a 4.5 to a 5.
Good point.
So
name a game that looks worse than this.
Yeah, I can't think of any that look worse.
We should pull up some footage of the Golem game that came out. It was like the worst looking game of all time.
Golem?
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings. It was.
Oh, Gollum.
Yeah.
Golem.
It's like, you look at any review of it and it's just like,
oh boy,
textures just fall out. You just fall through the earth. All sorts of terrible performance and stuff like that. But if we're comparing like this, yep.
This is
that's the one.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 with you. It looks better. This Golem game looks a lot better than the Pokemon game does, which is crazy because Game Freak 100% has the money to do it right. I don't think it's going to take too much more time. They could do it. It's 100% a choice that they are making, and I believe that is a financial choice that they are making. I don't think it has to do with the timeline. Probably.
It might. It's either a choice or it has to do with, again, timeline, which I think it does minorly have to do with the timeline. And number 2, I think also talent, like getting the right people, because I think a huge fear for me would be accidentally hiring people who have never played a Pokemon game who do not care about Pokemon, because that's like what has killed a lot of other games is they've hired people who've never taken part. Like, for example, Star Wars murdered into the ground because they started hiring people and writers that never have seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
They've never, they don't care about Star Wars. That killed that thing. So I think making sure you have all of the right people who do love the game, I think is a challenging thing. And I have a sense from playing through the game and seeing all the little interactions that whomever is working on the game, even if it's a lean team, care about the game and care about Pokemon at the very least. Like, they're not just throwing together and saying, like, it kind of can feel that way at times, but I don't think that's true that they don't care. I think that they care very deeply about Pokemon, and I'm sure that it is a bit of a battle of like, if we make it too realistic or too good, it might not feel like Pokemon, and we want to make sure that there's performance, and also, we don't want to have long release windows. And more money doesn't solve every problem, So, but I don't know. I don't work there, so
exactly. It's hard to say. I would love to know kind of the mentality of the development team for this particular game.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're veterans or if they're, Fiverr hires.
I bet that they're veterans. I guarantee it.
In any case, I think that a veteran would have more integrity than to release something that is just the same exact thing that we've seen for the past 3 iterations of the game a 4th time.
I wonder how many people were brought on from the team from the older gens. So because I can imagine a lot of people started with Silver and Gold and Crystal, and maybe started working on the Hoenn games and all through the DS era, and now moving into 3D. I wonder if a lot of those people are still being brought through and are having to actually learn new skills because they've never developed a 3D game before. Right.
That would be interesting to know. I mean, I'm sure that this is somewhat publicly attainable information, but I just don't have the research on the development team to say decisively whether or not they are a team of caring veterans or if they're a mix of new people and people who are kind of older veterans that are influencing the creative direction of the games. we see in like the dialogue that you showed, something like that makes me feel like somebody remembers the soul of Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Because that kind of dialogue was something that you've seen, like I said, it's a song as old as time. We've seen that kind of like,
yeah, we've seen people and trainers like saying the craziest shit. Like little NPCs, they'll say things, and I wish I had more examples because I know that there are more.
Pull up the swimmer with the Pokeballs.
What?
Pull up the swimmer with the Pokeballs.
What was it?
Literally, it's just a trainer. I think it was in Gen 3. It's a swimmer that's just out in the water, and she says, "If I'm wearing this bikini, where do I keep my Pokeballs? Where do you think I keep my Pokeballs?" You know, it's just this sussy dialogue that we've come to love.
Crazy. Let's bring this up. Yeah.
Yep,
if I'm wearing
a woman's
bikini,
secret,
where do I put my Pokeballs? Teehee, woman's secret. And then they bring in the manga where she's got Pokeballs on her boobies and it says, "Fooled you."
Yep. There you go.
Oh, here's another one. Tough fetching Pokeballs from my bikini. Yeah, and then there's like, I remember in the older games, I can't remember where it was, but there's like an old man who's standing outside of, I think, Cerulean Gym or something and looking in through the window.
Oh,
and
yeah.
is like saying
I love this gym full of girls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just think about the old anime, like Brock, just fully simping over
any woman.
Female
hey, how old are you?
I remember like in the past like couple of years, I like had made it a goal to watch through all of the episodes of Pokemon, but there are like 1,500 episodes.
Yeah,
There's
it's
so
like One
many.
Piece. Yeah.
It's longer than One Piece. It's crazy. But I remember Brock leaves for a little bit during the Orange Islands, and they bring in Tracy, and I was like, oh, I bet they removed Brock just because he's like too simpy or something. Like it's probably like a PR move. But then they bring him back even worse than ever. He's like more of a menace.
That is not what they were doing.
It's not at all. They do not care.
And why did he leave? Because he leaves at the beginning of the Orange Islands because he meets this like Pokemon breeder woman,
right?
That he's hard simping for. Right. He's like, I need to stay here and bang this chick.
100%. And considering like Japanese culture where there's like waifu tax on the cards and that's like they're just so much more into women in Japan. Like, it's like a different degree. It makes sense, and I don't think it's ever gonna leave the culture of like this like strange behavior. And
fantastic.
It's so funny and so great.
This kind of stuff keeps me alive. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that keeps the Pokemon spirit alive in me, and it's because that definitely came from somebody who has experience, who's been paying attention. Whoever is writing this dialogue is taking that experience from the weird suspect shit that they've been saying for generations and continuing to keep it alive in the newest generation.
Yes, there's always been people who say the wildest shit on the streets of Pokemon. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love the guy that you like beat him up and his wife's going to leave him and he's going to lose his job. It's just like, dude, I'm sorry, you approached me. Which is another thing is that you were talking about the impression, the internet impression is like, oh, all of these NPCs are soulless. Like you've never played a Pokemon game before.
Yeah.
90% of people are waiting for you. Everybody around is just sitting there waiting for you to interact with them. That is the game. It is a game.
Yes.
They didn't put them there for, there's actually so many more people in this game that you cannot interact with that have nothing but just like a simple blurb of dialogue than there have been in any other Pokemon game.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's actually like you're complaining the wrong way because this is more than we usually get in a Pokemon game.
Much more. You can talk to almost anybody, and they're like literally, I played 40 hours, but it's because I beat the game, I beat the post game. I'm now on to the post game. Yes, there is a post game.
Good.
And I'm like starting to work towards the shiny charm and all that. And dude, my map is filled with side quests I still have not completed.
Yeah.
So knowing that there is like 100 more missions to do and like 100 other people I can talk to and do things with. Wow. Like that is so much more than we've ever gotten, you know, and really
Legends Arceus.
100
Legends Arceus
Dude,
over 100 side quests in Legends Arceus.
From different NPCs?
Some of them will repeat, but I feel like they weren't like repeating the same task, but it was a character that you built a rapport with.
Right.
Which is something that I actually appreciated.
Right. It was one person doling out the tasks, right? Which we do have because we have Mabel's research. But these are 100 side quests that are totally in the world of Pokemon. So, and Mabel's research is a bitch. There is so much to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get the shiny charm.
You do a lot of it passively, though.
You do a lot of it a lot of it does come passively, which is nice because it was really kind of a challenge to get through some of the Legends Arceus, research. So luckily it's pretty passive. I don't know if you knew this, but in order to get the shiny charm, you need to beat 1,000 battles.
With trainers?
Yeah. So, not that passive. It's like.
But you are fighting trainers. You have to fight trainers in order to progress in the story.
Yeah.
It's weird the way they do it. I actually don't love the day and night cycle of like trainers are in a specific zone every night, and that's the only place trainers are, other than the very specific side quests that are just, and we got to get down this list, but there are problems with the side quests that while there are a great many of them, many of them are as simple as, I think normal Pokemon aren't that bad. Battle me so I can prove that normal Pokemon aren't that bad. And then you talk to them one more time, you battle them, you beat the crap out of them, and then they say, maybe normal Pokemon aren't that good. And it's just like, yeah, I know. The Gyarados is that good. Like,
yeah.
Why are we talking about this?
There are some that are very like lackluster, but let's jump into the story. So
let's move to the story.
So how do you feel about the story being much more slice of life rather than grand adventure?
Well, let's give you the opportunity because I've been answering the first.
Okay.
Giving my first impression first every time. So you start.
Okay. So the slice of life versus grand adventure thing was something that like I definitely struggle with in the beginning because I'm like, I like the grand story of like you go off, you become champion, you explore the world and big immersive thing. I've kind of liked that. So it was a hard adjustment to be like, we're just chilling, but it has made it much more pleasant to sit down and play where sometimes when you're playing games, let's just say, give an extreme example, like Elden Ring, like you have to sit down and be ready to play Elden Ring and fucking lock in.
Yeah.
You don't need to sit and feel like you need to lock in to Pokemon, which is actually kind of nice and it makes it more pleasant to just kind of play through and move through. There are moments where you have to lock in, like key moments when you're doing the mega battles and stuff. But you don't need to be locked in all the time, which I think is actually like pretty nice. But generally I've been enjoying the change of pace. I've adjusted to it and I've come to like it a lot.
Okay, so what do you think of like the actual story content?
I really liked the story. Like I said, the first handful of hours before you make the scamming jump to F, I didn't like it. It was like whatever, but I did read all of the story. I read all of the dialogue this time to make sure I knew what was happening. And I really enjoyed the progression of going and learning about each of these different trainers. Because what was it? What's her fucking name at first?
Great question. I'll give you $1 for every trainer you can name.
It's Canary.
Yeah, the electric girl.
Yeah, so she's like the first person who like really starts to like give life to the story. I feel like going from Canary to Corbeau.
Is he I'm gonna fist fight these Pokemon guy?
That's Ivor.
Yeah.
Ivor. Yeah, Ivor, like that's pretty funny. You know, that whole series is pretty funny. Into Corbeau, who's like a loan shark. And then
that was actually a decent character.
Yeah, I liked hearing about each of the characters and their stories, and like they're all like kind of filled with a little more life. Like when I think about Iono who's very similar to Canary, Iono being from Scarlet Violet, I barely remember anything about Iono. I was like a cool trainer at the time, but it was like whatever. But
yeah,
Canary,
just waifu bait for that one.
Canary was really funny because you go in and there's this like big dude who's like this massive simp of like, I'm her biggest fan ever,
yeah,
dude.
I love that the dirty Canary simps all have like garbage Pokemon. They have the Garbodors and stuff. Like,
yeah, it's really funny and it really like good. Plays into streaming culture. And it's funny seeing Naveen go from like this like character who's a part of the team to being like, nope, he is just a massive simp for Canary. Like it's just very funny and it feels like it parallels a lot of things that are happening modern day of like Twitch culture. And then like Corbeau, like being the loan shark, like there's lots of people who are like that in the world, like a little bit more similarly. Like it feels very much talking about real stories that people might have if Pokemon were real and, you know, this was a real thing. And so I like that. It feels
like that's what the anime does. Right. It gives life to the people around Pokemon that spend time with Pokemon every day.
Right. It feels the closest we've ever been to the anime. And so in finishing the game, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, the ending was so great. I loved the ending. It was funny. It was really funny at times. It was if you watch past the credits, you need to watch past the credits. It gets very emotional and like probably the saddest people have ever been watching like a cutscene, I'm sure, in Pokemon at least is what I mean. It was great. And the fact that there's a post game and even past the post game, there's another post game, which a lot of people don't realize. It's fantastic. It was a great story. I loved the story for the first time. I think arguably Legends Arceus, I like the story generally too. That was pretty cool. You know, obviously everybody cares about the fight with Volo and Legends Arceus. That was great. But the story in this, just I felt through and through very good about it. Like it was extremely strong of like a good tale. Okay. I liked it a lot. What about you?
So there are some Pokemon moments, even in modern games, that have hit the mark for me. The was it Mabostiff? The stupid big dog.
The dog, yeah.
But that was emotional in Scarlet and Violet because the guy was dying, right? The dog was dying. He was old. The guy was just trying to give him sandwiches because that's what he liked, which was, you know, endearing, but also still kind of sad because it was, you very rarely see mortality in a Pokemon because for the most part,
you have it in a long time.
Right. I mean, you even back in the good old days, they really beat around the bush with it. Like what Gary's Raticate was alluded to have died after your battle with Gary on the SSN.
Yeah.
You killed Gary's Raticate on the SSN.
Yeah.
They don't say it explicitly, but when you see him in Lavender Town and he's in the graveyard talking about how, you know, Pokemon die, that's one of the very first times and one of the only times you see this kind of like, these are living creatures aspect of it.
It's funny that you're saying this because I will say, minor spoiler, this is very minor though, murder becomes a very key aspect of the story. Believe it or not, the murder of Pokemon becomes very key later in the story.
Okay. I mean, I'm deep into the story. Like I just finished, the last thing that I did was I finished the B tier promotion with the tournament.
Okay.
Which was by far the most fun I've had in the game was that tournament. I wish there was more stuff like that.
Oh, right. Where you're just synth.
Yeah.
Yes.
If that's how you say it.
Jacinte? I don't know.
I don't know. They're all kind of French names.
The dragon lady in the French maid.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
Dude, she's crazy. She's so crazy.
Yeah, she pulls up and locks you into your house and it's like, all right, we're throwing down. And then you beat her and she gets the eye twitch and everything.
Yeah, she's like, dude, I hate this shit. Like I'm in like servitude to Jacinte. I don't know how to say her name.
Who is just like pink bubblegum princess.
It's so funny.
Super strange.
It's so funny. I actually really
very true to form, like Japanese writing. So for the story, I think that in a JRPG, one of the things that you need to be able to do in order to consider yourself a true successful JRPG, which I wouldn't consider this. It isn't turn-based at all.
Right.
It is a very different take on the Pokemon combat style, but they still are trying to tell a Pokemon story. So it is inherently going to need to have some of those JRPG storytelling aspects. I think that they beat the hell out of it. It was way too much dialogue for me. I mean, I swear I feel like I am walking in between unskippable cutscene to unskippable cutscene.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's grueling. It is truly grueling, where many of the main story missions consist of, if you're lucky, battling one Pokemon or one trainer, having an entire slew of dialogue, battling that one Pokemon or trainer, traveling to a location to have more unskippable dialogue, and then traveling to the next location to have an unskippable dialogue intro into your next mainline story mission.
That. Are you reading all the story?
Hell no.
Okay. Well, so that is where we differ, because I read it all and I did not mind the dialogue.
But it's so much. It's hours of reading. It is truly unexaggerated. I think that you are to expect a minimum of 6 hours of sit down and read.
Yeah.
With nothing in between.
Given that you play strictly through the story and not do side quests in between and stuff like that.
Correct.
Right.
And I did do some side quests in between.
You can choose to break it up. At least there's lots of options.
Are we going to talk about side quests in the story?
Yeah, we'll do it in this.
Okay, so I'll bounce it back to you with the side quests after a quick summary of how I feel about the story so far. I have just gotten to the point, like you said, it definitely takes a turn to the more interesting when you get to that F rank. Right. Because now all of the trainers, because they couldn't think of all the trainers, I guess, or something. Because the first several trainers were understandably unmemorable because they're like the worst trainers in town. Right. Really. Realistically,
yes,
like
they're unmemorable.
And they have some funny dialogue where like the guy who was X was like named Xavier or something like that, and talks all about like X this and X that, and all his dialogue has a lot of X's in it. And he's like, I want to be W, and it's just like, maybe I should stay at X. And then the Z guy is like sad because he's just like, I'm the guy
Zach, the taxi driver.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the guy that's just always Z. Like, I'm gonna be Z forever. Those kinds of things for me were like, that's kind of funny when I stomped this guy. Yeah. But for me, the Pokemon has been all about the gameplay. The storylines in Pokemon should be a conveyor belt to fun new mechanics and gameplay. Yeah. Because that's what I'm playing for. I'm playing for the team building, and I'm playing for the min-maxing of stats and stuff like that. That's what I care about as a Pokemon fan. As well as Pokemon design. So something that we'll touch on now a little bit and maybe talk about later is the fact that there is almost no new Pokemon design introduced in this game. For the first time ever in a Pokemon game.
Yeah, that's really crazy. That's pretty.
This is a brand new thing. Yeah, because it's not like Platinum where it's just a or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, stuff like that, where it's not this.
It is the Platinum of XY.
Then of XY, not really, because they cut out every other biome other than the city.
That's true. That's true.
So every Platinum has completed the storyline once again over and added a little bit, where this is a huge decrease in content.
Yeah, 100%.
As far as the actual content of this story goes, it's okay. I would give it a hard 5 out of 10 because it isn't that good. It isn't worth for me to read every single countless cutscenes. It's hours.
You literally been texting me like, I hate these fucking cutscenes.
I literally have, because I got time. I got time to text you because I'm sitting here stuck in the goddamn cutscene. It's a little too much for me. Yeah. I preface this whole rant with a JRPG is built on the backbone of a solid storyline. Final Fantasy VII fans all over the place will tell you that is exactly what they love about the game. Chrono Trigger fans, all of these games excel really well at telling a in-depth and like personal storyline that you get invested in. Yeah. I think Final Fantasy probably has the most dedicated fan base for those people who are willing to sit there and slog through the dialogue so that they can get the full experience. I don't know that Pokemon fans are as into it as, you might be, where you're willing to read every single dialogue.
Right. And in the past, I've skipped much of the dialogue of old Pokemon games too. I just have skimmed enough to know
I'm a
what
skimmer.
happened. Right. But in this game, this is the first game that I've ever sat down and be like, I'm going to read everything and just know what happens in the story. And with you giving it a 5 out of 10, this is where we differ a lot, because I would give it a 10 out of 10. I really loved the story. From reading it all, I really enjoyed it. And that makes me go back to thinking the people who are making Pokemon really care, because they made a good story. And I really have enjoyed understanding the story and what's going on and why it's happening. And what is the purpose of all of this. It's been really great. Someone clearly put a lot of time into making a very well articulated story, where if you don't skip over it all, you'll enjoy it. So then this is perfect, because if you're somebody who doesn't care about the story, then you'll probably feel 5 out of 10 about it. If you are somebody who's going to read the story, you're in for at least a very good story,
which is interesting. That's an interesting kind of duality here, because I feel like we both share a lot of the true RPG aspects of the game as being something that we're interested in.
Yep.
The gameplay itself being the main proponent of that.
I agree.
Whereas the storyline for these kinds of games has always struck me as a little lackluster, which is fine in a Pokemon game for me. But this one felt like there was so much dedicated to it, so that it's actually probably an endearing thing that you are able to say wholeheartedly, I loved it.
Yes.
It was a really good storyline, but you have to be willing to read it.
Yes.
I, in this case, was more doing the skim aspect. So if I was to summarize the story to where I'm at right now, which is I'm just about to hit title rank A. I've got 3 more of these, because my God, is it redundant in what the actual content of it is.
Yeah.
The things that you're doing in between are one of 2 things. You are fighting 3 mega Pokemon and then coming back, or you are doing a promotion battle and then you're coming back. I
think you're about to experience a part of the game you're going to really enjoy, because the space between after you rank up to B and trying to become rank A, there is wonderful story that I think that you, as somebody who's played a lot of Pokemon games, will appreciate a lot.
So there have been some things that have stood out to me, like Lysander.
Yes. Spoiler.
That was pretty cool, because I recognized him right away. Right when he popped up, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I didn't realize what the timeline on this was like. I didn't think this guy would still be alive.
Oh yeah.
But here he is, and he's all grizzled and some 10-year-old kicked his ass 30 years ago, and he's still feeling it.
5 years ago. I think it's 5 years.
He's whole. He don't look good.
So they talk about this. So you're gonna see.
They did talk about it. I just didn't fully understand, because I'm not reading the storyline as well. They were saying what happened 5 years ago with you, Lysander. I thought they were talking about an event that they were going to elaborate on later. But if that was the events of X and Y,
it was.
He has had a rough 5 years, man.
Well, they talk about why he looks the way he does later in the story.
Okay,
so you'll figure it out, but it's fantastic. It's great. You'll realize.
So, but to finish on that, the 5 out of 10 is because you don't have a choice. If you don't care, you have to slog through it. There is nothing you can do, and you will find yourself mashing B for, I'm not kidding, hours. Yeah. Hours of time.
It's true. Yeah.
And even if you're skimming, you can only, you have to really be ready to sit down. Like you said, you have to be ready to sit down and lock in to play Elden Ring.
Yeah.
This isn't that. You have to be able to sit down and lock in to read a book.
Right.
To play this game. Yeah. And it's really just there's very little in between these cutscenes for me that gives me that feeling of respite that I've been looking for.
You know what? The story and the entire vibes of the game really remind me of, and I've said this multiple times, is it feels like Kingdom Hearts. The sound, the music, and the environment, to me, reminds me of Traverse Town.
Interesting.
Like if you listen to the music with the saxophone and
I can
stuff,
hear it.
it kind of feels like Traverse Town ish, and like the story. I know the story of Kingdom Hearts is a little bit different, very much more so expansive. You go into different worlds and things like that.
Oh yeah,
but it's
so crazy convoluted. Watch a video dump on it. Like
the story, that is Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite games of all times. But that is the story I do not give a shit about. I do not want to know the timeline of anything. That is so messy.
That's so crazy because I have gone down that rabbit hole a number of times to try and understand the Kingdom Hearts storyline because I just do care. I don't know why.
I know I care enough, but man, I do not understand the story of Kingdom Hearts.
There's a box out there that Maleficent's trying to open. I know that
much.
That's
about it. That's as far as I'm aware. There's some hearts. There's a kingdom. You gotta lock. Okay. Anyways,
there's stuff going on.
Back to Pokemon.
This is not. We'll do Kingdom Hearts Magic Kingdom podcast coming up.
Right. That's funny.
In any case, I would like to try and summarize what I think is going on in the storyline, and you, as somebody who has read it more thoroughly than I, can tell me how well I've hit, and maybe that will give people a good benchmark on how much they're going to retain from just playing it my way. You know what I mean? From what I can tell, you show up, a girl immediately approaches you and hands you a Pokemon and says, "Here's your starter Pokemon, Wary Traveler." And you say, "Okay, thank you." And then she says, "Join my team."
Yep.
What's the team do? I don't know. What is the team for? I don't know. Is there an ongoing competition? Seems like it. What is the competition? What do you win for getting A rank? I don't know. What is Dynamo? What is the other ones that punch people?
You clearly have not read this story.
No, I haven't. I haven't read much. I know that these factions and characters exist. I know that there is some loose competition style thing going on where these people have grouped up and are competing against one another to reach A rank.
Okay, I'm gonna try and summarize this without giving any spoilers. So the goal of Team MZ is to figure out why Mega Evolutions are going rogue around the city. Why is this all happening? Why are it's becoming in this increasing amount of more and more and more Mega Evolutions are sprouting up? And they're
why do they keep coming in threes?
Yeah, and they don't want it to ruin the city. So this other group the president is Jet, right? Lady Jet. You see her in the very beginning.
Yeah.
She is like mayor.
Aquatico?
Yeah, Aquatico. She's like the CEO of Aquatico, and they keep setting up these wild zones, but they're setting up the wild zones because Pokemon keep on coming in from outside and they're getting attracted to the city, and they don't know why. They don't want all the businesses to be ruined and stuff like that. So they're trying to keep it under wraps by setting up these little systems where they can entrap the Pokemon so they don't ruin everything. So your goal in Team MZ is to try and figure out why are these Pokemon going rogue. And the reason for the tournament, and this is a minor spoiler, but it's because they're trying to figure out who is the most capable of handling like the Mega Evolution problem, is in most vague terms as I can provide. And Dynamo is strictly a canary thing. That's like her like her catchphrase is "Let's go Dynamo" or whatever. So that's what that has to do with. But that's what your whole entire mission of the game is. Why is there that's the mystery. Why is there a bunch of Mega Evolutions popping up here? Why are Pokemon all of a sudden flocking into the city and trying to solve that and fix that issue?
Okay. I mean, I understood most of that from what I've seen so far based on the fact that a huge gameplay plot point is the Rogue Megas. A little redundant in the presentation of those Rogue Megas, but those are gameplay wise the most fun you can have in the game, in my opinion, is battling those rogue Pokemon. They actually have mechanics. They're actually fun to fight. They feel interesting and unique. Getting to them sometimes is a huge pain. I don't know why they decided to do that, but sometimes you have to jump from one rooftop to another and float over. Other times they're just sitting in the middle of the square. But I guess that serves the storyline of like they're coming in. Some of them end up in the wild zones. Others just post up wherever they find space. I like the wild zone thing where it's like the explanation is that these Pokemon are just here these walls are being put up basically to create temporary enclosures for them.
Right.
Stuff like that lands pretty well. The why, I'm not really understanding. Why is the old man giant? Haven't figured that out yet. I think that I'm probably going to get a...
You don't remember AZ from XY? Oh my God.
Was he giant?
Yeah, he was always giant. He's like lived for 3,000 years.
But he wasn't giant. The man that you meet in the desert?
In AZ?
Yeah.
Or AZ, yeah, he's
red. Is that not red time traveled with
No.
Zorork?
I don't think so. Because I can't exactly remember, but you return like his flow at returns.
Zero Aura.
No, his flow at returns to him is like a big part of X and Y. You don't remember that?
No.
You should do a little recap of the XY story.
Y?
And this is a huge tip to anybody who's watching this. Recap X and Y story. Just find a 5-minute video or something. Just a quick recap of what happens, especially with AZ, because it absolutely ties into what happens later in the game. And it will go significantly more appreciated knowing that backstory.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of Alola is the storyline that I'm remembering with the old man in the desert that you meet in game. And in the anime, it like really reiterates that is Ash, who in a timeline in which Ultra Beasts destroyed the world, and he came back in time with his Zero Aura to try and stop the events of his timeline that in which the world was destroyed.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell AZ is.
AZ, he's an X and Y, but a big part of that story
was he always 10 feet tall?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And a big part of it is like he finally gets his Floette back after 3,000 years. Yes. So, which they dive into. Yes. Anyways.
How you like the side quests?
I haven't played a ton of them, but some of them were kind of fun. Like,
which ones have you done?
Well, obviously I got the Shiny Mareep. I did like I don't remember them all, but I remember there's one where you have all the little Trubbishes follow you through the alleyways. That was pretty fun.
Was it?
It was kind of cool. I guess it wasn't that fun, but
it's literally talk to this lady. These Trubbish are smelling up the joint. Can you take this trash bag to the trash can down the alleyway? And you say, okay. And then you walk down the alleyway and put the trash in the can.
It was just kind of fun. You turn around
cute.
And they're all kind of bouncing around,
It was cute. Like, I like that kind of thing in a game where that is like the minority of those kinds of quests, where that's the lowest effort that they put into those kinds of quests.
Yeah.
Because then it is fun. Then you just see these little guys kind of hopping around and having a good time. And I like that all the NPCs that you pass are like, it smells, or like, you got a fan club, like stuff like that.
Right. There was like a little bit of thought put into it. Another thing on the topic of side quests, and one reason why riding Pokemon might not be so much a thing in this game, I still think you should have been able to mobily run around, but why you might not be able to climb and stuff is I do enjoy the puzzle of like, I need to get up there. How do I get up there? And trying to figure out the scaffolding or like find which building I must climb up to.
Activate an elevator or whatever.
Yeah, I did think that was kind of fun of like the part of the puzzle is I must figure out how to get up upon this building. I did enjoy, the mental challenge of that, which really falls in line with Pokemon because I have one of my fondest memories of playing the original games was like the ice cave and doing the puzzle of like, where do I must, throw myself in order to get to the exit here. Right. It kind of reminds me of that, like in our own modern day way of like, how do I navigate this thing to get to my end destination?
Yeah, I could see it. And that's definitely a positive gameplay feature for me is the like the elevators and the rooftops and stuff like that. At least it adds some depth and dimension to the game. Something that I will warn people who have not gotten this far, you have to slog through a lot of the story before you're able to hover across gaps.
Yep, that's true.
It's crazy. It was like at least 10 hours of gameplay, unskippable cutscene before you get the ability to hover, which is a hugely core thing for navigating the world. I mean, you need it. So for that being not a side quest and some side quests being locked behind that, not great. Beyond that, I think the side quests were all, so far I've done probably 20, and all of them, not one of them has been memorable. All of them have been extremely lazy.
Yeah.
I feel happy when the side quest is just stand here and battle me, because I know that the alternative is a fetch quest that I don't want to do.
That's true.
It's like the fun dialogues that come with those side quests are fun.
Yeah.
They're kind of funny. They're kind of fun. But the quest itself is, once again, really uninspired. It's just, stand here. I have this particular gimmick. I use berries. And then you're like, how'd that berry go? My Gyarados just one-shot your guy. It didn't use its berry. I didn't even see you use a berry one time. Other times it will be like, bring me this Pokemon. And you're like, oh, I already have that Pokemon. Here it is. And they say, okay, can I have a tuft of your hair or a bit of your ink?
Yeah.
And then you go about your day. And then the third version of that is like, I need you to cast a elemental move on something nearby.
Right.
And that's all I've seen so far. And then there was the Trubbish one, which was actually one of the more memorable ones, because it broke away from that design that all of the other ones seemed to follow. Another one that was somewhat memorable was like getting the Froakie.
Yeah.
You got to do the obstacle courses.
Yeah, you have to do
which we haven't even talked about. The parkour is so bad. I don't know why they put that into the game, because it's like they give you one parkour option. You can do the little hover.
Yep.
And it isn't. They designed the maps to have these barriers and partitions so that it would stop you, because they knew they didn't do the hover very well, because you have no control over it.
Yeah, or you need to dodge roll into it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Those, and you need to do them. You have to do those stupid parkour maps, all of them, because they are the only things that allow you to unlock the bonus XP and better catch rate and bonus defense if you really are struggling with the mega battles.
Right. To get the plushes, essentially. Right. Yeah.
Which they don't tell you about at all.
Right.
They just say, one day you stumble upon this guy, and there's not even like a lot of the NPCs will have a yellow dialogue over their head when it's something useful.
Well,
but
the
this
yellow
person
dialogue
was just,
is when they want to give you something.
They should put it on. They should think about putting it on the people that will also sell you something really important. Yeah,
that's true.
Because those are really important. And the other thing that they don't really advertise very well is the stones, the evolution stones.
Yeah.
Took me forever to find those things.
Right. There's two different places. You got to go for those, which is kind of annoying. Let's dive into our first tier list here.
Okay, cool.
Let's dive into the trainer tier list. We'll see how many names you actually know and remember. All right. First one.
That's you.
Yep. Paxton.
What?
Yeah. that is your actual, that is the anime or the lore name for your trainer.
I would give both Paxton and Ashley, whatever her name
Harmony.
is. There you go. Paxton and Harmony, I'm going to give them both B, because obviously they're unmemorable, and if and when the anime
we'll have
presents
to wait
them
for the anime.
I'm not going to find them very memorable.
Yeah, very
But
mid.
the customization options in game are excellent.
I love, yes,
way better.
They're so much better.
Way better than Scarlet and Violet.
So much better. All right, AZ.
Who? He's real tall. I'm gonna give him like a A.
Yeah, I actually, knowing more of the story, I think he deserves an S tier. Knowing how the game resolves, as I think he'd belongs.
But how many
there.
hours of that was he like that? You know what I mean? Because the first 25, he seems like
I think that when you finish the game, you'll be like, we got to put some respect on his name.
Okay.
You know, like, I think that I am rightfully defending my boy AZ.
As far as a design goes, he's interesting looking in game. He provides some meaningful dialogue. He hands you your mega bracelet. He teaches you about mega evolution loosely. And he's like a prominent character in the game. So I would put him at A, you put him at S, we'll call him an A+.
Yeah, A+ for sure. I
we
think
we can leave him an S for the fact that there is no A+ here.
Perfect. Okay, so I I play as the male character, so I do know that this is Tawny.
Is there a different counterpart if you play as the female character?
Yeah, you get a male guy whose name I don't know.
That person?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was a chick. All right. Tawny is really annoying.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna put her at. She doesn't deserve D tier, but I think C tier is totally fine.
Why does she not deserve D tier?
Well, I think D tier is probably reserved for anybody who's like super unmemorable.
It's not about the. She's fairly memorable, so I'll hand you that because of how much of an imbecile she is.
Yeah,
and I imagine that her male counterpart will be equally an imbecile.
Yeah,
considering the dialogue is probably identical.
She gets you into trouble.
I knew this was on. It's like burning my pocket.
She like screws you over.
Screws everybody over. She makes a series of poor decisions and does very little to help.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that does not stop even through the end game.
Which is crazy.
It continues to make very poor decisions.
So I would call her D tier for that. I mean, I guess if we're reserving D tier for just the least memorable characters, but
yeah,
she's really not a good. Like, I liked How a lot better, and How sucks.
Which one was How?
Lola.
Oh, right. Yes. Got it.
I mean, at least How, like, you kind of felt for him by the end of it because his whole shtick was like, you've beaten me every single time we fought and I'm getting tired of it. Whereas like these people, you kind of fight them every now and then and you stomp the crap out of them, but they're expecting it because there's like a very defined tier system of trainers and they're like, you know, Y and X, and you're at points in the game when you're battling them, you're like B tier and they're like still X and Y tier. It's like, yeah, obviously I'm going to stomp you in the ground. You have an unevolved Staryu.
Yeah. All right. Lida.
Speaking of unevolved Staryus.
Yes. Good.
At what level do you need to be? You can go buy one at the store. They're $4,000. Just go buy a water stone, dude.
Yes,
like
that is pretty funny.
She's like, she has the mega stone and it's like, my Staryu is still a Staryu. I'll evolve in one day. And it's like, dude, you have that's got to be like one of the rarest items in the entire world. It's a mega bracelet with the mega stone for a Pokemon you have. Go spend the $4,000 to evolve your Staryu, dude.
Right. That's pretty funny.
A tier.
A tier? Yeah, okay.
I like her.
I like her too. She's
cool.
Like cool enough.
Yeah,
like
and I love that she's not. She's very like to Tawny, she's like, dude, why do you continuously fuck us?
Right.
Like,
she does the right thing. She's a good friend. She's like calling her out, saying, hey.
Yeah, and I love the deadpan expression that she always gives her. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah. All right, Naveen, the simp.
Hate him. Creeps me out. Okay, while we're on Naveen, viewers beware. What do you think about giving one of the only African American characters the Mega Scrafty?
That's crazy behavior.
I think he was probably like a white guy before the internet got a hold of the Scrafty leak because they were like, oh, maybe we should make this guy brown. Because if we give the white guy the KKK character...
Dude, that is insane.
I have no idea what they were thinking with Mega Scrafty.
I have no idea.
What is Scrafty? He's a little lizard guy that wears his skin like a hoodie. Cute, cool. What if we made that a full white face mask with a nice little pointy top? Ideas? Thoughts?
Yeah, that's pretty bold.
Terrible idea.
That's probably one of those things where in Japan, the localization for the US just didn't land.
I'm sure they didn't do it deliberately in the design process, but they were too far in when somebody mentioned it.
Right.
They may have adjusted Naveen's physical characteristics to...
Yeah, be like, maybe we shouldn't be totally
Anyway,
racist.
The character himself annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, he's
a simp. First off, unforgivable, disgusting simp.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like his what's the word? His like motives are all very diluted for me. Yeah, because at some point he was talking about like, I want to be my parents got mad at me because I wanted to be a seamstress or something like that. I don't know what the seamstress, a female thing, seamster. Which is like cool if you want to be like the clothing design guy.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool of like a good starting point for him of like, oh yeah, he's like, I do my own clothes. Clearly he's passionate about things. You know, he's kind of an egotistical dick. He's just kind of staying off in the corner. He doesn't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
You know, but then it's like his entire personality switches to like, all I care about is Canary.
Yeah. Uwu. Simp.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate turn.
It was so strange to me because he didn't strike me as that kind of person at all in the build up to that. And then he like really switched gears.
Yep.
Like halfway through when the second Canary was introduced, he was just like, oh, we're talking about Canary? I'm super into that.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And then he only talks about that
from that point on.
From that point on, it's all he cares about. Emma. Dude, she's S tier, bro.
Dude, you know what you got to do.
The Emma Pokemon cards are going to
be they're going to be expensive.
The most expensive waifu cards to ever hit the market, bro.
The French maid girl. Let's get to the French maid girl.
I agree personally, but from an internet standpoint,
you think it's going to be her?
I think it's gone too far. I think people have like, I don't see everybody on the internet talking about LaBane's ass. I see everybody on the internet talking about Emma's ass. That's all they talk about. So I think she's probably going to be up there.
I mean, and they knew what they were doing. They gave her like the cat mouth with the lip that curls right here, and it.
Yeah, that's true.
Gave her the three mouth.
Okay. What's her name again?
Yeah, we're getting into muddy waters here.
It's not that muddy. She is the research.
Oh, we were just talking about.
Yes, we just said her name like 10 minutes ago.
Somebody's research. I don't know.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head now. Now that we've said it.
Doesn't matter.
Mabel's research.
Mabel.
Yes, she is from X and Y. So she played a small role in X and Y. She was part of Team Flare in X and Y.
Oh.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yes. What do you think? She kind of reminds me of Jessie from Team Rocket a little bit. She's got kind of that energy.
So I only spoke with her one time went to her lab and she introduced me to the Mabel's research thing.
Yeah.
And if I recall, she was a little weird at that time. I can't remember if it was like she was aggressive or kind of like sus.
Yeah. She's like kind of like me. She feels like Jessie from Team Rocket. She just is kind of like, fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of her energy.
But all of that is immediately lost because you never go talk to her ever
You
again.
have to a lot later.
Okay.
But at first impressions, where would you put her?
Yeah, B's fine for me because it's not that she's bad like Tawny is. It's just that she's like, and she plays a serviceable role. You know, like I almost feel bad putting the main characters at B because of the fact that they are you and they're very customizable.
That's true.
But obviously there's no dialogue for them other than like you have I'll give it to them. They have a bunch of different dialogue options that you can choose from, but none of them result in anything other than the pre-programmed dialogue being.
I'm putting them in a B just because it all depends on how much you love or hate yourself. You know, if that's so personal, it's just somewhere in between is fine.
Mabel can stick at B. She gives you TMs.
Yeah, that's true. That. Jet. She's pretty unmemorable.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Vinny.
No, she was no lose-amine.
Yeah. Vinny's dope.
He's okay.
Bro cruises through a few times.
Yeah, I think he's more memorable than the president.
Yeah, I put him at B. He shows up.
Sure.
Canary.
I would put her at B, high Bs.
Put her at A. I think a lot of people care about Canary. I think Canary cards will be very valuable in Pokemon cards. I think she's a pretty solid trainer.
Sure. I mean, she's kind of insufferable. I like her. I don't know why they like act like Tetris is like that's what she plays.
Yes.
She's the Tetris player.
Right.
She's like a professional Tetriser.
So you have read the story.
I've skimmed.
All of a sudden, Canary's in the picture. And, this story's really good.
I've skimmed it.
Wow, I care a lot about this story all of a sudden.
The mask thing, I think, is a little weird.
That was a little weird.
I think her development probably began in COVID era.
Yeah.
which is why they incorporated the mask, but she pulls it down a lot, which is like defeating its purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think she deserves
overall, she's okay.
I cannot remember this guy's name. It's Canary's grandfather.
Oh, I kind of liked him just because of the fact that he was like the hollow canary. Yeah, he's like her PR guy.
Dude, it's like if she was an OF model, he would be like the manager who's replying to all the messages.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is kind of funny.
He's the Discord mod.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. He's probably deserves B tier is probably about where he's at. Ivor.
It's her grandfather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Ivor.
I'll give him A tier. I like
is that the right gender? Is he?
He?
Yeah.
I think so. Pretty sure Ivor's a guy. I mean, he's got huge pecs.
He's referred to as he. I just wasn't unsure. Okay.
So I almost want to put him in S tier because he's one of the only memorable characters.
He's pretty great. And like when you're going through his storyline, he's like, let's fucking blow up every wall we can and just destroy everything.
He just punches stuff. And it's like, you get the clef key for whatever reason, and then you unlock that gate, and then he just punches it down anyway.
He's like, here we go again.
You could have just done that in the first place, my dude. I did not need to catch this atrocity that is a clef key.
Like, stand aside, Emma. Bro's got this. And then she makes a dope reference to Legends Arceus, like, this is an ancient Hisui. And he's like, I don't give a rat's ass. It's like,
well, it's like your intro to him is like, we do a thing where we want to release. He's like kind of the spiritual successor to the team. What is it? Galactic that wants to release all the Pokemon and keep them out of he wants to take them out of the wild zones.
Right.
Where they want to take them out of Pokeballs. And he's like, yeah, we'll just teach everybody how to fight and they can just beat the shit out of the Pokemon if they give them trouble.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I kind of like that. He never actually fist fights a Pokemon, which makes me kind of want to put him at A tier, but the rest of his dialogue is funny enough that he can stay at S.
Yeah. All right. Gwen, his sister.
Yeah.
What do you think about her?
Chandelure lady.
Mm-hmm.
A.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Better than some, not as good as, those three at the top. For me, like, I think that the standout at the top right there is YZ, whatever his name is. AZ.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't really do it for me like the other two do. Like, she's obviously the gooning material for the game. He's like, I can't remember the dude's name in Legends Arceus, the blue-haired guy that was a very similar character. That was just very like, I want to fight. I'm always going to fight.
Right.
He's striking that note for me where I didn't remember his name, but I do remember his character, and that's pretty good for me, right? If I remember this character as somebody that's like, oh, I recognize that guy as the guy that fights Pokemon from this game that I didn't read.
Yeah.
That's better than some of these other guys down at the bottom.
Corbeau, the loan shark.
I got to put him in A tier.
Yeah, I agree. He's A tier.
He's good. But like, I kind of don't like how much of a good guy he's immediately becomes. Like, he's introduced to you with, your friend owes me $1 million, and you do 2 jobs for him, and he's like, never mind, I'm gonna actually tip your friend $1 million so that she can pay off my debt.
Right,
but I'm such a good guy.
That's like his story, though. Is like he's not actually trying to be a bad person. He's trying to just leverage other people to make the town a better place.
Right,
that's all he's trying to do,
which is interesting and it's good. And his henchman there does a very good job of like being that stern front.
Felipe.
Yeah, I put Felipe at B just because he's ugly as hell.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. Yeah.
And you only like battle him the one time. But for an evil organization, they're doing a really bad job for me.
Yeah, it's hard to even say if they're really an evil organization.
They're not at all.
They're like
his whole job is he wants the same thing everybody else in Lumiose. What the hell is the name? Limousine. He wants the same thing everybody else wants.
Yeah.
Which is like to get to the bottom of this mega evolution thing.
Right.
And help make the townspeople safer.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he's doing it in like a crime syndicate kind of way. They literally call themselves a syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be such like a pansy really doesn't work for me.
Yeah. All
Like
right.
I need my evil guy to be eviler.
That's true. Jacinth, whatever, however you pronounce her name. She's pretty funny. I think she's around A tier, maybe B tier.
I'll give her B tier.
Because she is.
I was going to put her C.
She
so we
kind
could put
of
her B.
enslaves somebody.
She does kind of enslave somebody.
And
Yeah, she enslaves many people.
Actually, she does many people. She's like, I'm going to haunt you unless you better come back or else. You know, she kind of reminds me of a little bit of Sabrina.
Yeah.
Where Sabrina is like, fight me and then I'm gonna lock you as like a doll I play with forever. You know, very Sabrina vibes for sure.
Yeah. S tier.
Oh, for sure. She's a great character.
No question, S tier.
She's Labane.
She's unfortunately your dragon trainer, but at least we've got one.
Yeah, which is cool.
It actually, you don't see it until she starts battling, and then you're like, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Because at first she just looks like French maid, but then you see that the hair is like a dragon tail. The little bonnet thing is also dragon spikes, dragon ears. And then obviously the way that she battles, her whole demeanor change when you start battling her is pretty crazy.
That's like, I think the point where you like start to enjoy her as a character is like, she just like switches up. She's like, all right, all ropes off, you know, like.
Unfortunately, you didn't have any time with her beforehand. You had like one other dialogue with her before she hit the code switch, but
that was, she's solid. It's really funny because throughout the game, in the early game, I was telling people like, I feel like this game is doing a little bit of fan service for the waifu simps. Like I'd already felt like that. And then I saw the scene with Emma's ass. And I literally, when I saw that scene, I was like, whoa, like this is different for a Pokemon game. I was like, what the hell? Like this is not typical Pokemon game. And I was already feeling like that. And then they introduced Canary and I was like, bro, like they are clearly, and I thought that had to be it. And then Labane waltzes up in the French maid outfit. And I'm like, dude, like
what is going on here?
This is so clearly directional, like wild behavior. But she was a great character. She's really funny. She's just solid, just totally wild trainer.
I feel like we got to clear up that B. I feel like what's his face's henchman and what's her face's henchman could both go to C.
That's what you're talking about? Or are you talking about Vinny?
Vinny, all three of those could
Fair
go
enough.
to C. All henchmen could be C tier.
Fair enough. Vinny's kind of funny. I like his look. He's okay. You have not gotten here yet with these two.
They just work at the taco stand.
They play a bigger role in the story later on.
You visit the taco stand several times.
Yes, Grisham and Grisel. They are very okay. I'm gonna put them here. Just
I would have put them at D tier. So assuming that there is something else to them.
Yeah. All right, and then L. Lysander.
Yeah, I mean he should probably be at least A tier.
Yeah, he's a pretty great character.
He's kind of weird. It's kind of frustrating that he shows up only with Zygarde. He just kind of follows Zygarde around, but seems to have no control over Zygarde whatsoever. You know, and you see AZ at the very beginning of the game. You see the Zygote come out of your bag, and AZ clearly like makes eye contact with it, so he knows something's going on with that. But there's never any dialogue with AZ about it, even after you've met Lysander several times and battled Zygarde in multiple occasions.
The biggest missed opportunity I feel like in the entire game is that there is no side quest to find the Zygotes. Yes. Yeah. I thought that would have been so cool.
Dude, it was such a huge hassle in X and Y to find all those little guys. But it was something, right? It was that thing.
Like in Legends Arceus, there was the little flames.
Exactly. It was the thing. It was the search mission that causes you to re-explore the entire map after the game.
Yep. I really would have liked that. That was a big bummer.
Yeah. I think we did a good job.
Okay. Moving forward into our review of everything. All right. Let's try and nail these out swiftly. The map as a whole review.
Okay.
What out of 10?
What out of 10?
Yeah, for the map of Lumiose.
3.
A 3?
3 out of 10. My reasoning being that is all that there is.
Yeah.
It is just that town. It is an extremely redundant town where every street, you can't go onto a street and tell me the name of that street because they're all the same. And even the wild zones, which were seemingly pretty variable at first. You got your wild zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They were all like unique. After that, they just started saying, this is a circle. That is it. It is a circle. That is the zone. And there's multiple of those. Yeah. Where there's no verticality to it. There's no underground.
Some of the wild zones are on the roof.
Some of them. But there are also many that are simply a featureless circle on the ground.
True. Yep.
And that was crazy to me. The first several times I went into a new wild zone excited and was like, I can see every Pokemon that is in this zone from the point that I entered. There's no find the rare Pokemon here. There's no explore around and find the secret outlets because most of these zones are featureless. Yeah. The game is fairly featureless.
I think that the map as a whole, you're probably right. I would say it's about a 4 or 5 where like I think the map as a whole is great, but it's bad because there is not more.
Yeah.
It by itself is totally fine, but it's not enough for me as a
this is really where I wanted to draw the parallels and differences between Arceus and ZA.
Yeah.
Together was going to be the map, because while Lumiose could have really served well as a home base with additional features such as the wild Pokemon and stuff, because you know in Hisui there was that home base town where there was it was way more characterful. The home base town was. There was people farming, and there was people really, it felt like people lived there. The shops were a lot more consolidated. The distribution of the side quests and the distributors of the side quests were all both more centralized and more meaningful, because these were characters that you were interacting with multiple times over. You learned what the person's job was in that town, is or was in that town, and you learn a little bit about the kind of person that character is as you're doing the multiple side quests for that character. Yeah. And then you have these extremely different biomes. You have this very distinct snow area. You have a very distinct beach area. You have a very distinct woodland area. All of those things helped my immersion, made me feel good about exploring, made me feel the raid-based aspect of it made me feel good. Like I was going to go in and come out with more than I had before. Whereas when I explore around Lumiose, I expect nothing and usually am rewarded with nothing.
Right. Right. I feel that. I agree with that. And I think this is exactly why they announced the DLC before the game even came out, so that people realized there was more coming. My guess is that Mega Dimension DLC is going to come with a good sized map.
I hope.
My prediction is that it's actually going to be a lowland map. I think it's going to take you to Alola.
That would be really interesting.
Because Mega Dimension, which is the Dimensions, the Ultra Beasts, and Zygarde is from Alola, right? I have a good sense that they're going to take you there. I wish you would just expand upon the
Zygarde's not from Alola. Zygarde is XY.
But that's right. But Zygarde is in
Alola. There's a lab. There's a research lab in Alola.
Yes, he's in Alola. He's not from Alola. My bad. You're right.
Because everybody was expecting Z to be the platinum of XY, which would be, X is Xerneas, Y is Beetle.
And Zygarde. Yes, that's right. But he was in Alola.
He was. There's the research lab in Alola, and there is the collect all the little dinguses in
Alola. Yes. So I have a feeling that they're going to take us to some island in Alola for Mega Dimension.
So Alola is the immaculate vibes for all Pokemon. I think Alola did the vibes the best because it just feels like you're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like it captured the real life parallel location the best out of any by far.
Yep.
Where it felt like you're in Hawaii.
Right.
Do you feel like you're in France when you play this game? I sure don't.
I've never been to France. I don't know.
Neither have I, but there's, the only things that there are that could make you feel that way are like the names of the characters and, somewhat the architecture.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't focus very hard on the architecture.
I'm going to turn up the lights.
So overall, I think that the map as a standalone feature of a game that is taking place solely in this location, 4 or 5. 5 being like a low 5 being the best I could give it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel about the same. Battling in multiplayer.
Okay.
Big switch in how we've ever
100% the highlight of this game is battling.
It's so good.
It's okay. It's not as good. It's hard for me because, like I said before, the thing that draws me to Pokemon is the team comp, development, the searching for that perfect Pokemon with those perfect stats, which has gotten dumbed down over time.
So much so, right?
With the bottle caps and the ability to basically catch any shiny and then you hyper train it and give it the bottle cap so it is a perfect Pokemon. It's nice because it makes you feel rewarded for catching any shiny Pokemon. You catch a shiny, it has ass stats. At least you can still use it by hyper training and it's really easy to get those IVs that you want.
Right.
However, in this game, you've taken out a lot of that. The lack of abilities was huge for me. I was wondering the entire time how they were going to incorporate abilities, thinking it would be interesting, because there are so many different kinds of abilities. Like Sturdy would be an easy one. It doesn't get one shot. Some of the harder ones would be like, Mega Medicham was good because of Pure Power. Pure Power was the reason Mega Medicham was usable. Now, with a whole game around Megas, you've taken the core mechanic of some of these Pokemon away from them.
Yeah.
Now they just feel like an expressionless.
I really hope abilities come back.
They need to. Well, they're probably not going to for this game. I don't think that the DLC is going to add abilities.
For this game, no. But I think that if they continue, which I hope they continue the battle system, to be honest, I think it's a great highlight. And for me personally, this battle system is something that makes me want to go play online against people. I feel like I don't need to know everything. I can just try different Pokemon and like just kind of feel it out a lot faster than to have my team get stomped like by somebody who's been playing for the past 20 years and knows everything about it. I feel like there's a new fresh start to play. I think it's a little bit more engaging and like easier to watch. So for like Twitch streams or something like that, I feel like people will enjoy watching this in a tournament like kind of way more than they might have in because for me, like the thing that I do really love the old system for nostalgic purposes, but to be totally honest, the thing that I would avoid the most in every Pokemon game is trainer battles. And in this game, if I get into a trainer battle, I have no problem doing the trainer battle. I don't have as much of a problem, doing it. Knowing that I have to do 1,000 battles I know it's going to be a pain, but it is so much less of a pain than if I had to do 1,000 battles on the old system.
Yeah, because it's faster. For sure. It's way faster to just stomp this guy's 2 Pokemon in the battle zone than it would be to have a full-on orchestrated trainer battle.
Yeah, and I also feel like I'm at least refining my skills. I'm learning to be like, okay, recall the Pokemon right before they use the attack. And, I'm learning how to adapt to the fight every time.
Yeah, there are skills to be had. I think in ranked or like online play, it is going to be a rock, paper, scissors of protect. I'm going to use protect. If a Pokemon can learn detect and protect, it's going to be really annoying because all they're going to do is basically, it's going to be a parry off. You're going to attack them. They're going to protect. They're going to attack you. You're going to protect.
I didn't experience that. I played a good deal. I played enough to get the Greninjite.
Okay.
And I didn't experience that because it's 4-player, so you can only protect once and then you have like, a good cooldown. So 2 other Pokemon could be swinging at you at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough variety where you can back off and like jump back in, and you know, it's not.
I think the highest tier players are going to be playing in the way that I described.
Yeah, maybe
because that's one of the very few opportunities for like skill checks to be involved, which is what they included with this real-time battle mechanics is skill checks. Turn-based, you have time to orchestrate your turn and plan out your strategy. This, you have to react in real time. The only options you have for reaction in real time are recalling your Pokemon, where you're standing, and the use of moves like protect and detect.
Yeah. 100%.
We'll see. I don't like it. I don't like it more than the traditional gameplay.
Yeah.
I think that this works really well for this game.
Yeah.
I think that the like raid boss fights with the mega Pokemon works really well for this game with the battle mechanics, the way that they are. I really hope that our next mainline game does not incorporate this and goes back to the true to form JRPG turn-based gameplay.
This is where we differ, because I would love to see an improvement upon this system where like there are different maps for ranked online right now, but like if the maps were a little bit more immersive, like it felt like almost like a Call of Duty map or something where like, you know, there's a little bit of hills, a little bit of foliage, trees you can hide behind, or destructible environments. Like you do a twister and like the tree blows over or something. Like that would be very cool.
That would be very cool.
You know, I think that if it were to be improved upon, that it could go very far. It's very watchable and very like entertaining and exciting in its own ways.
So this is going to be a deep cut for anybody who is familiar, but it reminds me a little bit, the arena battling reminds me a little bit of Custom Robo for the GameCube. Where it's like you are locked in this arena. In this game, a very featureless arena where the GameCube game Custom Robo has a much more dynamic arena to fight in, which is crazy.
That's funny.
Because we're talking about a Switch 2 main release.
Yeah.
But you could build this kind of gameplay into a good arena battler where you have the destructibility, you have cover. I use cover in the game a lot.
Yes.
You can move behind something and your Pokemon will follow you like down a ledge and the enemy Pokemon just fires its stuff into the ground.
Yep. And misses, right.
And misses. And then I use Bounce and Dragon Rush a lot on my Gyarados, both of which send the Pokemon up into the sky and land directly on the enemy Pokemon. So I can do that from cover and hit them while they're launching their moves into the ground.
Yeah, I like that variety. I feel like if they added like better maps and interaction with the maps and just improved upon maybe like the lock-on system a little bit more and maybe just a little bit more about what you can do with the Pokemon to have it move faster with you or something.
Yeah.
I think, and abilities, if abilities came back, that would make for a very immersive, exciting, experience, I think.
Well, let's put a pin in this conversation for when that happens down the line.
Yeah.
And hopefully in 5 years, we'll remember to reference this.
Yeah.
Because then they need to do the work. They can't do what they're doing now with the recycling of assets and the lazy design that they're currently implementing.
Have you seen the leaks for the new Gen 10?
No.
Oh, they look very good. Like the graphics and stuff look very good.
Good, sure. And that's when I'll buy a Switch 2.
Yes, it looks very, very good.
I'm going to need them to really overhaul a lot of things in order for me to consider their next iteration of this kind of battle mechanic a success.
Out of 10 battling.
8.
I'd say that's fair.
It's fun. It's lazy. It is. I will hand you anybody who wants to critique this game on its laziness in design in general. I have to give it to them because it's just the truth. If you look at other AAA titles, and I know you said you don't necessarily like to compare this to other games, but I don't see why not. I don't see why we shouldn't.
No, because it's fine.
It's reasonable to have a certain baseline expectation
of course.
Any game.
Right. The review is to know what should I choose to play today versus everything else, right?
Right. I think it's fun. I think it has a lot of interaction. I think it has great potential. Like if you were to develop it into something a little bit more fleshed out. But as it stands, I'll give it like 8.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
It works for what we're working with.
Yeah, and I think that like I have to imagine it was a big pain in the ass to redesign all of the Pokemon's attacks to like figure out what, because they're eventually going to allow you to bring in from Pokemon Home all the old Pokemon. So they got to think about thousands of attacks and how they're going to be. So I got to imagine it was a huge task, and a huge task for something they didn't know if was going to land or not. So now I think they've probably seen it land. So they'll probably put more love into it, is my guess.
I don't think we're going to see any. My prediction is that we're not going to see any large improvements come to this game. But I think this game might serve as a good reference point for games to come.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a good thing for what we have now because we're playing this game.
All right. We have 2 more sections, believe it or not. Shiny hunting.
Strictly gimmick based.
Yeah.
You have to use a gimmick. Or I've only ever seen people using gimmicks. I've seen
a lot of gimmicks. Yeah. It's very cheesable, which I don't like. I don't like the cheesiness of like, just like reset at like a bench, or, just like keep respawning at the same spot or go up and down the stairs. Like that's like kind of a big thing right now.
And again, it's just a direct downgrade from Arceus. Like, everything about this game feels like a direct downgrade.
The one thing that I like as an upgrade to Arceus is I do like that there's the sound still, and I like that there's actually a sparkle animation on the Pokemon. So if you see them, like, dude, if we were trying to fucking shiny hunt a Mousehold, good luck.
Yeah. That one? You have to send your Pokemon out. In Scarlet and Violet, there is no sound or animation. So you have to send your Pokemon out to try and fight every single thing. And the one that it won't fight is the shiny.
Yeah, it is so hard to tell the shiny difference on so many different Pokemon. It is nice to see the shine and know that's the shiny I'm looking for. I did lose one shiny in ZA already because I heard the sound and I could not fucking find where the goddamn shiny was. If it was on the roof, if it was on the ground, I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
But I do like big improvement that now when it saves that shiny into a slot that you can leave and you can come back and it will still be there, still shiny, ready for you to catch. I love that as an upgrade.
That is a big upgrade.
Yes. So I think seeing the shine is an upgrade. Being able to save is an upgrade. I don't like how cheesable it is. And one thing I do really hate is the lack of opportunities and ways to get shinies that there is. There's no Masuda method anymore.
Nope.
There's no resetting for legendaries or anything. I hated that in Scarlet Violet. I do not like that you cannot sit and soft reset for a shiny that you want if it's a static Pokemon. Why take that away from people? That's a big
super annoying.
It's a big part of what people like love to do, with Pokemon. Why remove that? So I think having
no mass outbreaks,
which is kind of a pain, but I didn't see it as the end of the world. But
I just think it's crazy that I think that you can make so many parallels to this game with Legends Arceus, and I would say if you made 100 parallels between the two games, 98 of them would be a direct downgrade.
Yeah.
I truly feel like every single aspect that they did adapt from the other games, they took away from.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't have these mass outbreaks, which was a fun and interactive way to go shiny hunting.
Right.
Even they brought back the alpha Pokemon, but it feels so much less meaningful to run into.
They don't feel as menacing.
No, like when you run into an alpha Pokemon in Arceus, you're like, that thing is going to kill me if I get too close.
Right.
And when you find a shiny alpha, it's like a huge deal.
Right.
Because I found a shiny alpha Sneasler in Arceus. I was like, this is the craziest thing ever. I had to actually there was a chance that I don't catch it because it's going to beat me to death before I get to it.
Yeah.
With this, it just feels like everything is either something that I'm going to run away from or I'm going to destroy quickly.
Yeah, they're every once in a while I do still have those moments of like I was playing the other day and the day turned and when it came back up, I'm not kidding, there was 3 alpha Pokemon around me and I was like, bro, what? And they were all like, start swinging.
Yeah.
So there are times where alpha Pokemon in some zones where alpha Pokemon are scary. Like if you need to ever catch a Skarmory, it's in this like lion's den kind of area where all the Pyroars are. And there's like fucking 20 Pyroars and an alpha one too. And you're like, dude, how the fuck do I get this Skarmory? There's like so many goddamn Pokemon. Yeah. And the Pyroar is like, well, I can't remember what move it is, but like the ground fucking explodes beneath you. So you're just going to get your shit rocked the second you go in there. So there are sometimes very funny moments where like...
But what they could have done, there's another direct downgrade for me, is that in Arceus, there's a stealth mechanic that's actually good and useful. In this, your stealth mechanic is virtually useless.
Yeah, there's very few places to actually hide.
Right.
There's like you're
crouching.
graphs.
It's like you're what are you, level 100 sneak in Skyrim? You just crouch and you expect everybody to look away.
Exactly. It's so funny.
It's pretty bad, and it's like you can't snipe out the Pokemon you're looking for because they don't have the same catch mechanics.
Right.
You can't shiny hunt for a specific. You can't look at your map and see outbreaks for a specific Pokemon and go shiny hunt that Pokemon. Right. Your best bet is to go to the zone that they spawn and find a way to soft reset it, or not soft reset it, hard reset it over and over again.
Right. That's exactly right.
And if you do that, you're not doing it in the same way. You have to sit there and just reset it 1,000 times, and then you walk in, there's going to be 10 shiny Pokemon because that's how the game works.
Right, and you hope it's the right one, and it still could not be the right one.
And if it's not, you just go and reset the area 1,000 more times, and there's another 10 shiny Pokemon sitting there waiting for you.
I can't wait to have a shiny Charm, bro. For doing that. Okay, out of 10, how would you review the shinies? They're the shiny hunting.
The shiny hunting is like a 1. Honestly, that is my whole thing. I like shiny hunting. I like when they make shiny hunting a good and fun mechanic. Some of the best shiny hunting we've had recently is in Legends Arceus, and they completely botched it here, in my opinion.
I give it like a 3, just because I like that you can see the shine, and the saving is like, those are 2 upgrades. Bump it up to a 3. But yes, that is a huge pain in the ass. I'm going to dread finding the shinies I want for the Pokemon I actually want to compete with in ranked.
Yeah.
Okay. Our final section, believe it or not, somehow longer than our last podcast. Somehow longer. Pokemon and the Pokedex, which is where we're going to review the megas here, and we're going to do a mega tier list. But first of all, I hate that there's no rideable Pokemon. Also, the dex feels a little small. It's like 220. Yes. I think it's 230. 230. Sure, yeah. It is.
Is Zygarde the lowest, right?
Yes. Yeah. Zygarde is the last Pokemon in the dex.
Yeah.
It's a very small Pokedex. I checked it against other Pokedexes. In the last few games, the national dexes, upon release, like some were bigger. Like Legends Arceus was a little bit bigger. It was 280. But there's been much more. Even in X and Y, I think it was like 500 Pokemon, So it's really unfortunate that it's so small. And again, this is probably a reason why they announced the DLC before the game even came out, so people know a lot more is coming. But I felt pretty
trash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it trash tier.
Yeah.
Pokedex. It's like the Pokemon that they chose to include, for the most part, were all Pokemon that I enjoy. But you have to they had to include every X and Y Pokemon.
Yeah.
Which is probably like 100.
Yeah. I think
and then they had to include every Mega Evolution Pokemon, which is probably another 40 or so on top of that.
Which they are missing some Mega Pokemon from the old games.
Okay, I haven't double checked on every single one. I've seen a lot, and I've noticed a lot that are there. But like Caterpie, Butterfree doesn't exist.
Right.
No Mega Butterfree.
Right.
So they didn't even do that. They didn't even include every Mega Evolution Pokemon.
Right.
Maybe because they're saving something.
I'm hoping so.
The least they could have done was add like 2 regional variants.
Right. That is a huge bummer. There's no new Pokemon. There's no regional variants. I would have really, really loved regional variants.
Dude, I saw a Galarian Stunfisk in one of the side quests. I was like actually excited to see it. I was like, wow, they actually added one regional variant from anywhere. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. I thought that they did such a bad job with the new Pokemon.
Yeah, 100%. I really was bummed that there was no regional variants.
Which segues us great into the only thing that they did add, which is new Mega Forms.
Yes, let's dive into a tier list of the new Mega Pokemon. Here we go. Boom. All right. So I guess there's a couple from the upcoming Mega Dimension. So
sure. I've seen them. You've seen them.
Mega Raichu X.
Both. Okay, I actually kind of like the Mega Raichu X a little better than Y.
Yeah.
I would give it like an A tier.
I think it's S tier, just the X, strictly because it plays off of the original design of Raichu. Did you know that?
No.
Raichu was supposed to have an evolution. Gorachu. It plays off of Gorachu.
Does it? It doesn't look like Gorachu.
I thought it was supposed to look like Gorachu.
Gorachu is like bright red. And has like devil horns.
Yeah, this has got like kind of devilish horns.
Enhance.
I'm working on it. This is Gorachu.
Yeah. God.
So
I wish we had that. It's so cool.
Yeah. But I think it kind of plays off of it a little bit. And look at Mega Raichu X. Look at him hard. Look at his ears. Yeah.
Look at Gorachu's tail.
Yeah.
So that's a parallel that I can kind of see.
Yeah, 100%. A little bit. You know, it's like it's inspired by, it feels a little bit.
Sure.
Which I like. I think that's a very cool.
I think if they had just made it strictly into Gorachu, into the Mega Evolutions into Gorachu, that would have been much better for me because I thought that was the biggest. I wish that there was that over Pichu every single day.
Every day of my existence,
like some people are thinking about Abraham Lincoln every day. That's what I think about every day.
This is Gorachu.
All
right. Y. Mega Y.
B.
Yeah, it's pretty mid.
Really ugly.
Mega Clefable.
Yeah, Clefable. I actually love it.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that I think was cool. Really good.
I think S tier. I think the cards for Mega Clefable will be very good too.
I don't necessarily love the little like bonnet thing, the little hat, but it's French. So good for them for doing that. But I think that it actually really successfully made her wings into something interesting. Looking at you, Dragonite.
Okay, Mega Victory Bell, Acid Reflux Boy.
B. Maybe even a C. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate it as much as many of these other ones, so
I'll give it a B. Mega Starmie is S tier.
Can we put it simultaneously into S and D tier?
It is simultaneously living in both. It's very lazy.
This is Schrodinger's Mega Evolution, where it is both S and D tier.
It's very bad.
Mega evolve it and see it run around.
It was very lazy and stupid to do, but the fact it's so fucking funny, and I hope that was the intention. I hope they're sitting there and be like, "Dude, this is gonna be so fucking funny."
Yeah. I like him. I think he's cool.
Mega Dragonite.
God, add an F tier and put it there.
I actually love Mega Dragonite. I like it a lot.
Oh, I mean, I hard disagree. We'll have to split the difference.
We'll split the difference. I actually like it.
Hate it. I love that the shiny is blue, Dragonair blue. That is all I can say for it.
That's cool.
It is the same problem I have with many of these that I'm going to rate poorly is that they did almost nothing to change the design of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And what they did do, I could have done on Photoshop easily.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, 100%. And also a different, like, I think that the theory of the Mega designs are very different, like the philosophy. Like in the first set of Megas, they made them all look very cool for the most part.
Yes.
And these are not made to all look very cool.
Right. And that's something that if you read interviews with the design team from Pokemon, they have this very strict guideline that is to not make Pokemon too cool.
Right, you're right.
They don't want them to be too cool, because if they do breach that, they're no longer Pokemon. They're Digimon or some other kind of kaiju that
yes, exactly.
that doesn't really fit the like childlike theme. So I think somebody was talking, one of the designers was talking about Haxorus, where that went too far down the cool. They thought the design of Haxorus was too cool, and they needed to use that as a baseline to go back from.
Is it cooler than Haxorus? If
is it cooler than Haxorus? Then we can't have it.
Yeah.
What was your starter? We didn't even ask each other. Okay, I picked a Chikorita.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I know that you love Totodile.
I do.
So
let's get to the megas.
All right, Mega Meganium.
I used it. I like it. It isn't a good mega design. It's okay.
Yeah, it's got a big turtleneck.
I could have done it in Photoshop. For sure.
I'd say it's a B.
I'll give it a B.
Yeah. Mega
F. F minus.
I like this.
F minus.
He's
minus.
giant Totodile.
No, he's not.
Yes,
he's Flower Man.
Dude, when he has his hat on,
I know. And
he looks like Totodile.
He looks much better with his hat on. But with his hat off, he looks fucking terrible.
You're right. With his hat off, he looks nothing. He doesn't even look like a Mega.
No, I mean, it looks so bad. I can't believe the back thing.
All right, we'll put him at C.
And if you see him, sometimes he's got 2 arms, and sometimes he's got 4 arms with his 2 regular arms and his 2 jaw arms beneath.
That's true. Oh, because it has like a little like thing, because it's supposed to look like big Totodile.
Well, so if you look at it in a certain angle, he has regular arms, the regular Feraligatr arms, but below those he has like conjoined extra long arms that have the little bottom teeth that join up with the hat.
Right.
And I just think it looks very bad. But beyond that, holy crap, when his hat is off, it looks
I don't like him with his hat
wretched.
off.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I was
really
so
stupid.
pissed.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, Mega Skarmory.
He's kind of funny. Why him's feet so big?
He is kind of funny. He's gold. It's kind of cool. It's all right.
He's okay.
B. Yeah.
Like lazy. Okay, S. Can't believe people are talking shit about this one.
Mega Frostlass?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's dope. This one's crazy.
I see so much hate for Mega Frostlass. I'm like, this is one of the ones that actually looks really good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true.
They changed the design a lot. It looks really nice. It doesn't look too cool, but it definitely is a big design change. I think it's
tall and menacing.
10 out of 10
like,
Mega.
Yeah, it's like a little demon. Mega Embor.
A.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. He's kind of cool. A lot of people like his design a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like he represents.
It's hard to make Embor's design worse, so they did a good job.
That's true.
C, maybe a D.
Mega extra
gill. Probably a D.
Why can't I say that name?
Excadrill.
Excadrill. Yeah. He just got bigger nails.
It's just regular Excadrill with big hat.
You say B?
No, C or D.
I think he's worse than Feraligatr, so I'm gonna say D. Mega Scolipede.
A or S? Probably an A.
I'm gonna say A. He's cool, but
I love it. I think it looks really good. I think the armor on it looks really nice.
Yeah.
The only thing I dislike about it at all is the color of the horns. If those horns were the same purple, like the red of his skin with the purple of his armor as the horns instead of that teal color, I think it'd be really good.
I actually like the accent a little bit.
You like it?
Yeah. So he's all right. All right. Mega Scrafties. We can't even address.
Let's go next.
Yeah. Okay. Mega Electros.
Like it.
Yeah, this one's cool.
Give it an A.
I give it an
A. I actually like it a lot. I think they did a really good job.
This one feels like a Mega.
What?
Mega Electros?
Yeah, because if you look at it, I mean, what is he? He's a deep sea fish. And what do deep sea fish, electricity is something that you kind of see associated with deep sea fish with Pokemon a lot, with like Chimcho and Lantern, which is like that anglerfish thing. I feel like they incorporated the false bodies like a real deep sea fish would have.
Yeah, you're right.
Really well into the Electros design.
Yeah.
I almost want to give it S. But
all right, yeah, we can give it S. It's a good one. It's a good one. Mega Chandelure.
Why? Why even bother? Like
Just a
they
bigger
gave it
chandelier.
extra lanterny bits.
Yeah, he barely looks any different.
Extra chandelier bits.
Um,
Really good.
this one,
Chestnut.
Mega Chestnut. Yeah,
I think Mega Chestnut looks really good. I love the shoulder spikes. I love the big flail
he's
mace
cool.
that
He's
he
cool.
wields. I would probably put him A.
Yeah, A's probably the right spot.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's still a chestnut.
Yeah, it's true.
Fuck chestnut.
Who cares about Chestnut?
Delphox, I like a lot.
Bro's moving on the magic carpet.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's an S tier.
I'd give it S tier.
I think it's super dope.
Folks, let's remember that Starmie is simultaneously an S and D tier. So
yeah, just
if S tier looks like it's filling up a little too fast, keep that in mind.
I also think the cards for Mega Delphox would be kind of cool. There's like some cool stuff they could do.
I just think it's really good. I wish that she was riding it not like a surfboard, but like a witch would ride a broomstick.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the stick missiles. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that there is a stick riding, like broomstick riding aspect at all.
Yes, that is very cool.
It's nice.
Like
Very witchy.
It plays upon
the original design,
Yes.
and it makes it better, which is what a Mega Evolution should do.
Which is what they should do. Mega Greninja.
C.
Yeah, I think that
it's just upside down regular Greninja.
I think it does play upon what Greninja is supposed to be very well. Like, oh, it's a ninja, it's hiding. It's like that's what it did. But like,
it's cool.
It's just Greninja upside down.
It is. If you turn it upside down, it is no longer Mega Evolved.
Mega Pyroar.
You know where to put it.
Dude, bro, just got...
I can't even believe... I saw somebody photoshopping a lot of these, like into like speed running the Mega Evolutions.
That's so funny.
And this one was just took its head, copied it, moved it up, and then erased the face and was like done.
That's so funny.
Like, yes, that is just another main on top of its main.
Yeah, that was really bad. It's so stupid. There's so little effort.
Super terrible.
Mega Floette.
We got to talk about this one a little bit before we place it, because why can it Mega Evolve?
Yeah, it all gets explained later.
But sure, I don't care, but no, it can also regularly evolve. So why is it Mega Evolving?
They literally explain that exact thing later in the story of why it cannot. There's actually a very interesting
specific
story.
Floette.
Yes.
Specific Floette can go into D tier.
Fair. It doesn't look much different. It's fine.
Well, it's the same. It is just Floette holding a bigger flower.
For sake of story, I'm going to put C tier. Just because of the lore. Like, they don't really go too much into the lore of why these are, but this one's actually got story and lore to it that is interesting.
All right. If we're judging it off of something other than design, it can go C tier.
Bruno Mars.
What? Does he look like Bruno Mars?
I think he kind of looks like Bruno Mars.
I'm a big Malamar fan.
Yeah. I think he's kind of dope.
I put him A tier.
Yeah.
He's definitely not S tier, but he's A tier.
I would verge on S tier. I think he's dope. I think he'll make. Well,
I think we're being a little too generous with S tier.
Like, hold on. Bruno Mars. You know, he's got the big fro.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, oh no, it was The Weeknd who has like a music video. He's in all the lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm thinking of The Weeknd a little bit more. But I just thought, when I first saw him, I was like, he kind of looks like Bruno Mars to me.
I thought he looked like a nice little like magician, sorcerer kind of guy, you know?
True.
He looks like Doctor Strange.
True. Yes, Doctor Strange, yes.
Anyway, I love Malamar. When Inkay came out, I thought Inkay was the cutest Pokemon ever in Sun and Moon when it first came out. And then
he's got an interesting evolutionary method.
The evolutionary method was super interesting, where you
flip the DS upside down.
The ability, so perfect for him. The contrary is so nice on it.
What was it? Contrary, like what does it do again?
Any status change is reversed. So if you would,
that's cool.
Like
that's
Growl would raise his attack.
That's very cool.
Yeah, really cool, really good for the Pokemon. I just liked it a lot. I think that the Mega Malamar looks actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And
I would verge it on S tier personally, but if you want to say A tier,
I think S tier is just filling up. I mean, can we move Raichu down to A tier?
I think Raichu's real good too.
It's just not nearly as good as the other ones up
All
there, in my
right.
opinion.
I don't know which one I would say is better. I'd say if anything,
We'll leave Malamar A and move Raichu to A.
wait, leave Malamar at A2.
Yeah, because they're about the same coolness, right?
All right. Barbarnacle.
You might think I'm weird for this. That is by far my favorite.
Really?
By far my favorite. It is so. It's because of the JoJo stance. He's hitting the JoJo stance.
I'll say A tier because I thought he was all right.
The Barbarnacle, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think that is the best Mega that they made in this game. Second only to something else.
All right. We'll keep him at A. I'm gonna keep an A because I feel a little bit.
A's fine.
Mega.
It's like, so it's still a Barbarnacle, right? I think that one was a really good Mega design, and I think that it is a really good looking Pokemon now.
Mm-hmm.
But Barbarnacle, which you also have to use, looks like ass. I hate the hand face.
Yeah.
But it still has the hand face in this, but it's just a little different. And I just think it looks way better. I wish that's how Barbarnacle actually looked.
I feel you. Mega Dragalge.
So they gave it the Chandelure treatment and just added a little bit more frilliness to it.
Yeah.
So weird. Like, why did they do that? They did basically nothing.
Mega Halucha.
Got to put in S tier.
That's a great one. That's also a fan favorite. That one's really fun.
I totally see it. It's actually just way cooler than regular Halucha, and I love the like the mask change is basically what makes him Mega.
It's so funny.
Pretty cool.
All right, Mega Zygarde.
We really need to make an F tier. If you tell me right now that you like the fucking blimp, you got me fucked up. Man.
I don't like how it looks, but in game, it is so funny.
How do you like the design of the Mega Zygarde?
I don't like the design, but when Mega Zygarde is being used, it is so funny.
Brother, it looks awful. When I saw that it was when Mega Zygarde was spoiled, like leaked, that I was happy for a moment because I was like, oh, thank goodness these leaks aren't real. There's no way that's what it really looks like.
Yeah.
And then the spoilers started coming out and we started seeing that they were right on a lot of the spoilers. And I remember looking back and be like, are they going to make it a blimp? Are they going to make it a goddamn blimp?
Bro is hella funny to use, but the design is worse than Ultimate Zygarde form.
100%.
So, yeah.
I mean, Zygarde 10% is my favorite because dog.
Yeah.
Zygarde 50% I've always thought looked weirdly incomplete, but it is.
Yeah.
It's supposed to look like that, but I hate how flat and wavy the tail is. And it just doesn't really have like a distinct face.
Yeah.
But 100% Zygarde is the better Voltron.
Yeah. Mega Drampa.
I'd love to hear what you think.
I think he's cool. Like I think he's kind of cool.
Okay.
He's like, I think he looks better than Drampa.
Yeah, that's easily my second favorite, if not my favorite.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
It looks so cool. I first off, I thought Drampa had always gotten kind of like a weird reputation.
He did. It was kind of odd.
Well, like his whole backstory is that he's an old man that takes care of kids. But he's like, if you read the Dex entries, it's like if you bully a kid that is his friend, he'll come and burn your house down.
That's so
straight
funny.
up. So he's just like a very vengeful.
That's hilarious.
He looks really old and looks really like docile, but he's actually like a very vengeful and violent guy. And I always really liked that about Drampa.
Something that changed my opinion of the Drampa for some reason was the illustration rare they did of Drampa is really cool. It's like cartoony and kid-like, and it's like it's very sweet. Let me bring it up here. Drampa illustration rare. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, it gives me kind of like Studio Ghibli vibes.
That was my exact thought when I first saw it too. So I really like it.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's very cool and chill. But I like it. I think that the Mega is great for it. I think it hopefully will bolster Drampa as being like a more.
I feel like that's
Pokemon.
what people see when they bully the kid that's his friend.
Just them fucking rolling up like that.
Well, yeah, and he's got because all of he's got those like kind of like floopy floppies, but they all stand up.
The Mega is what you see when you bully.
He looks angry.
That's funny.
And I think it's actually just really nice.
Mega Phalanx. Yeah, it's not a good one.
It's like
kind of weird.
Dude, I liked Phalanx when it came out a little bit, but I always thought that I always have a problem with like the Execute kind of Pokemon, Magnemite, Execute, stuff like that, where it's like, are you 1 or are you 5?
Right.
What are you?
You know what he kind of reminds me of is again, going back to Kingdom Hearts in Traverse Town, when you fight the iron thing and it's like its feet are different and its arms are different than its body and stuff. It reminds me of that.
It does kind of remind me of that. I like that better though.
I like it better. I think it's D tier. I don't think it's that good.
I mean, let's look this over. I don't know if there's any that were unjustly placed.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't think so. I think we did a good job because I don't want to move anything in D tier up. Right. I don't want to move anything in C tier up. I almost wonder, like, out of the B tiers, like, were we too harsh on Meganium? Maybe, but it's okay. It's like, it's really very little was done to the design of the Pokemon.
Mega Meganium in the same class as the Mega Raichu and the Mega Malamar and the Mega Barbanagel. It doesn't deserve to be there. So I think it's properly rated.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I personally think Mega Dragonite is a little bit cooler, but that is a point of people are opposites.
It's really divisive.
It's very divisive.
And it's funny that we both are we represent that well because you gave it like an S and I gave it a D.
And I think it's also something that you and I have always just been, because like I feel like throughout time we always pick the opposite Pokemon games, and like for some reason, we're always on like different pages for what we're looking for out of the games, but still equally enjoying the games, which is very sweet.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we did good.
We made it through. So Pokedex, obviously, out of 10, we rated it pretty poorly. The new Megas, I think there's some good ones, some great ones. I don't think anything that was produced like stands up to like Mega Charizard X or, or Mega Rayquaza. Nothing is nearly as cool.
Okay, just to finish off this tier list, what is your favorite Mega Pokemon
That's
of
a
all
good
time?
question. Because yours, you said, was either Barbanakle or Mega Drampa, right?
For these.
You're saying of all time? What's mine?
Yeah, well, let's do both then.
Okay.
What's your favorite here? And then is there another one that you like better that was already...
I personally love Mega Dragonite. I love...
You like it better than all these other ones?
I love Dragonite, and I think it's cool. I think it'll be a great card. I think whatever cards they come out with, it will be really cool. And I just love that Dragonite finally got something. I get it that it's like, people don't like it and it's fine, but I like it. I think it's an interesting variation. I think if they just would have put the wings on its back, it would have felt like some of these other ones where, that's all they did was just make the wings bigger.
Yeah, but they didn't have to just put the wings on it.
That's true. They could have done it totally different, but at least it's representational of Dragonair a lot, where like it has the stuff on its head. It's got the long tail with the bead. Its color when it's shiny is, it kind of represents and I think from a deep lore standpoint, that's interesting because there's been a lot of talk about, was Dragonite supposed to be Dragonair's evolution? And a lot of people would argue that it's not. A lot of people think that Magikarp was supposed to evolve down the line into Dragonite, and that Dragonair was supposed to evolve into Gyarados. Yeah. People think that a lot. And you can see it. You can see a lot of parallels in the designs. Magikarp is orange and has the long little like whisker things. Yep.
Dragonair is a big blue serpent, you know? I think at some point the designs of both Pokemon, Dragonair or Dragonite and Gyarados, were changed to better match who they were actually going to evolve from. But you can still see the remnants of a time in which
maybe they were
possibly swapped.
Yeah.
For me, I think that to bring back the Dragonair design makes no sense for a evolution.
Yeah. I agree with you a little bit. Dragonair and Dratini are, I think, some of the few evolutions where people love the middle evolution and what it looks like.
I like Dragonair better.
Yes, a lot of people love Dragonair and Dratini's look, like as a whole, where there's plenty of people you could probably find where like, yeah, the middle evolution is the best, you know, to them, which is almost non-existent throughout the rest of Pokemon. And so I think it is kind of cool where they tried to strike some kind of balance. I don't know. They clearly didn't perfectly hit the mark, you know, because a lot of people don't like it. But I think it was like a cool attempt, you know?
It's not the worst.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like, if I was to rank D tier out, it would be the top of D tier.
Or at least be the best of the worst.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Without question. I would almost actually hesitate to put it into C tier because of how much worse everything in D tier is than Dragonite. I'm actually pretty satisfied with its positioning at B tier. Despite me really disliking the design, there were a lot of bad ones. And this one at least did something.
Yeah, it was just a bummer like that none of them really fit the bill of being like so cool. Like I
think if they just committed to the bit with Dragonite and turned him into a big blue serpent for his mega, like totally change the design, put him back into like a mega Dragonair, that might have actually landed a lot better for me.
They could have, yeah. They instead of trying to play both sides or something.
Yeah.
I think the only like kind of menacing looking one is maybe the Gorachu and maybe the Barbanacle are the only ones that are like really like feel more true to form mega of like this is supposed to look really cool and menacing and like
I think that the Frostlass also does a really good job of looking like a mega.
Yes, I think you're right there.
For me, I'm gonna have to go with Barbanacle. Just because he's Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know why they did that, but it's just funny.
It's
I like
so
it.
funny. Okay. And then favorite mega of all time? I don't even know. It's really hard to say. I think probably the coolest looking one just generally is Mega Charizard X, even though he's not nearly as usable.
Is that the black and
with the one with acid reflux? Yeah.
It's good. That's a really good design. I like it a lot. A lot of people like the Mega Mewtwo's.
Yeah, Mega Mewtwo X and Y are cool. Yeah.
I think a lot of the Megas look really good from the older generations. I mean, I think that Mega Medicham looks really cool with the extra arms coming off of it. And I like, I actually really don't like Mega Lucario, but like Mega Blaziken looks really cool, which is like, where's my boy?
Yeah, I wish the more Hoenn Pokemon were in this game, dude.
You only got 220 to choose from, so
this is true. It's such a bummer. That's again, those are more megas they did not include in this game. You know, it's just such a bummer.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I find that are missing.
Mega Swampert would have been tight, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like I'm kind of a sucker. I think that which is included in this game. I think that Mega Caesar looks really cool.
Yeah.
Big. The clamps. Give him the clamps.
That's fun.
I don't know if that's my favorite, but there's a lot of good ones that aren't on this list because the ones that were made before this, generally speaking, I think were held to a higher standard.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why the designs were changed so greatly or the philosophy was changed so greatly, but maybe they're just trying to like cater to this audience. Like I feel like it caters to a bigger net of people of like there's a lot of people who love Pokemon. They love the aggression of battling and shiny hunting and all that. And then right now, like there's such a big influx with Pokemon cards that there's like a lot of like girls trying to collect their cute Pokemon cards and stuff like that.
Right. You
And
see
it like
people
kind
trying
of,
to fill binders of their favorite cute Pokemon.
and like, you know, you can sit at the cafes and take photos with the Pokemon. There's like a lot more of like that kind of energy that you can do that I feel like just caters to just a bigger audience of
Like in game?
Yeah. So like I think it tries to attract the kind of people who love playing something like Animal Crossing.
Oh, sure.
While also, you know, trying to keep true to the people who love playing Pokemon or more hardcore games.
Yeah, we'll see how it really end games out and where this game lands, like in historically for Pokemon.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you to kind of like close out this segment is, how do you rate this game as a whole? You know, I want to know generally what you would give it out of 10. As a lifelong Pokemon fan, and then how you think it would stack up against other games in this era of time for people who aren't diehard fans like you and I.
Yeah, it's tough. I think that as a diehard fan and somebody who has played all the Pokemon games, I think that it goes into my top 5 of all Pokemon games I've played. I would even say maybe even top 3. Like I think it's up there. And because when I think about like one of my favorite games of all time was Pokemon Crystal. Like I loved it. I thought it was such a wonderful game. It's so nostalgic. Heart Gold and Soul Silver maybe might be slightly better just because of the improvements.
10 out of 10.
But right, they are 10 out of 10 games. But what Gold, Silver, Crystal really did was take and build upon, you know, the world in a really nice way, and they did something cool and inventive, and they were trying to pioneer Pokemon, and I feel like they're trying to do that a little bit again, and I want to encourage that of like, you know, I want to encourage the pioneering of Pokemon further and helping like expand upon it so that, you know, we can better the game and we don't need to stay stuck in how we've always done things, you know? So I appreciate a lot of that and actually taking part in the story and reading the story. I like it. I think that I would give it, as a Pokemon fan, I'd give it maybe a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really great game and I'm excited to continue to play. And for the first time, I feel excited to actually play in ranked battles, and I feel like I have the opportunity, if I wanted to not only play in ranked battles, but try and take it seriously, like play ranked battles seriously. I feel like I'm on a fresh playing field with people where even if I don't know everything, it's fine. I can figure it out. You know, my skill, I don't feel like I'm competing against other people's intelligence. I'm actually competing against other people's skill as a Pokemon player. And intelligence is like, can be a difficult hurdle when getting into everything. If it's like truly based off of like, I just can't remember the type matchups. Like I have to remember like thousands of different combinations of like how everything matches together. That can be really challenging. That does still play a role, but you know, I don't feel like I'm at a total loss if I don't know everything about Pokemon. So I overall like it, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. And if you don't play Pokemon, I don't know if this is going to be the perfect game for everybody who doesn't play Pokemon, you know, but I think that if you've ever been excited about trying it out, it's a great, at least jumping off point to try it out. And maybe you'll enjoy it not having the frame of reference of Arceus. And
you make a valid point for the hopping into competitive battles as somebody who doesn't know everything. It is definitely a much more enterable playing field because of that fact, where I feel like you make a really good point that people who play competitive Pokemon in the turn-based formats that we're used to, it has gotten to a point where it's like chess, where all the moves have already been done and it's now just a matter of responding to your next 5 turns before you've done them. So I know what you're going to do for the next 5 turns, and I need to try and play out my next 5 turns to counter that. And it's just become this very end gamey kind of Everybody knows what the other people have on their team. Everybody knows all the gimmicks. Everybody knows the exact base stat values of every Pokemon that they're coming up against. They know the exact amount of effort value that they need to put into each stat so that it can outspeed its own common counters. I mean, we're talking like deep, highly detailed gameplay that isn't very fun for most people. And you're never going to get to that point without looking things up. You need to look things up and do research. You need to watch hours of competitive play. And it basically just builds and perpetuates on itself, which isn't very interesting for somebody who's like me, who wants to find joy in a design. I like to build the design of my team around a certain thing and try and do something that I'm not looking up. Right. Because that's fun for me, but it doesn't translate well into a high level competitive scene. Yeah. Because there's a very good chance that I'm not optimized for what is currently happening in the meta of the game. Yeah.
And in this new series, you can still build for setup. You know, you can throw out a Pokemon, you can have it do an AoE effect, and you can recall it, you can throw out in your next Pokemon, and you know, you can still plan things out a little bit and still think thoughtfully about it. Not to the same extent, but that probably lends itself. That's probably a good thing, you know?
Yeah. It's at very least a neutral thing where it's not taking away from the experience. It's just a different experience.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe it will act almost like in comparison to like Magic, where like standard might be a good jumping off point for some people to play simply and then, you know, help them as a gateway drug to Commander, you know? So I think that it's a nice change in pace. What about you? What do you think about like how would you rate it as a whole?
So firstly, from the diehard Pokemon fan perspective, I would say that I'm pretty immensely disappointed by this game because I can't help but draw comparisons with other Pokemon games, especially Arceus. Yeah. And I just, every single time I feel like I experience something that I experienced in the past from Arceus or from another mainline Pokemon game, I think that the thing that I'm experiencing in this game is a downgrade from what I've experienced in the past. So for that reason, I would give it like a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough.
I think I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, but we don't do that. So I'm going to give it a 6. I would err it on the lower side of 7 and put it at 6 out of 10. Maybe a hard 6.5.
I'm wondering if that will change at all once you beat the game.
I doubt it.
Yeah. The post seems pretty cool.
We'll see. The things that I enjoy about the game are fleeting because I've been beaten over the head with them so many times. So like for the first time, I feel like I'm at a spot where I need to fight these 3 mega Pokemon. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I just did that 2 seconds ago. I just fought 3. After they release me into the game and the world, I'm definitely going to dive into trying to figure out some shiny hunts. I'm going to see if there's like a battle tower kind of situation that's fun for me. If there's not, I'm probably going to put the game down and never play it again.
Word.
I will be finishing the decks out and I will be getting the shiny charm.
Nice.
Because I do that. I've never not done it. Yeah. So I'm not going to stop now.
Yep. I'm currently on it. I just finished the Pokedex last night.
Nice. Yeah. So it's doable within a short time frame. Which I kind of like. I like to be able to get that shiny charm earlier on, which is sad that it's not finishing the decks. You have to do other stuff.
Yeah, it's probably going to take like 60 hours in total to get there.
So maybe not so fast. For somebody who's a possible gamer that wants to try this game as their first Pokemon game, I would not recommend it as their first Pokemon game because it just doesn't hold up against other games a gamer would be used to playing. It really is just worse than most other AAA titles today.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And it's just across many metrics that you could say that. Even the best parts about this game, which is the combat, it is clunky. It is very clunky for what it is. Having no ability to lock onto something is crazy. Not being able to say, this is my target until I change it, and then being able to move your character and use your moves while still locked on to this thing is an insanely bad feature.
Right.
And that's not the only insanely bad feature of this game. There are many insanely bad features of this game. Like the parkour thing is another insanely bad feature of this game where why did you even think to put this in the game when the game is so clearly not designed around movement?
Right. Yeah. It's like really annoying. One thing I hated in the very beginning was like trying to figure out what I could and could not jump up onto.
Right.
Like,
it has to be a slanted.
Why can I jump up higher, twice as high onto this thing, but I can't hop the fence on this lower thing?
You can't even stationarily jump in the game.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
That is something that has been present in both of the most recent Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Is being able to stationarily jump.
Yep.
You can jump in Scarlet and Violet and you can jump in Arceus.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't. I was so looking forward to experiencing an Arceus 2. And that is not what they delivered.
No, it is not. Which was very strange for them to be like, this is another Legends game, but it's like almost not the same whatsoever.
Right.
It's like completely different. It's like not ancient. Different. It's not Legends. You know, it's not. But it felt, which is so strange.
So to put a number on it for like a person who wants to get into the franchise, 2 out of 10, pick almost anything else.
But I would say that if you are a Pokemon card collector and you've never played the games before, I would say it's a fine place to start. Like if you have,
would you really recommend this over Arceus for somebody in that same boat? Because if you don't like the turn-based combat being the only thing that is a real true deviation from any other Pokemon game, Arceus still delivers a somewhat non-turn-based.
Arceus is great too. I love Arceus probably equally in its own ways. I would say either of them are fine, are great entry points. I would say, and this is probably where we should leave off, is like for the card game and the collectability and investing in Pokemon cards into the future, I think they've lined up a great setting at the very least and cast of Pokemon to make for some very awesome card art.
Oh yeah.
Like I think, dude, Mega Starmie cards are going to be fucking hilarious. Like there's no way that they're not going to be worth money. You know?
Yeah.
I think that for the first time ever, I think cards have really influenced what they choose to do with the design of the game.
Right. It's always been vice versa.
It's always been vice versa. But I think because it's just making so much money right now and it's such a huge thing that it has influenced the way they've designed the map, the way that they've designed the area, like the areas, the way they've designed the megas. And I think that that's 100% the leading thing. So I think for the card game, it will do great things for it. But yeah, as a whole, I can understand like the disappointing like feelings that the Pokemon community has felt. I personally enjoyed it. I loved the experience. I can't wait to keep playing it. But you know, I can see both sides.
Yeah, for me, I enjoy the gameplay on certain levels. I'm a much more traditional Pokemon gamer, so I definitely prefer the turn-based JRPG aspects to the game in its traditional form. I could see how this could be fun for people who aren't interested in turn-based games. We've been hearing a lot of backlash towards turn-based games in general from the gaming community as a whole. We have very recently seen a resurgence in interest in turn-based games with Expedition 33. I don't know if you're familiar with that game. But that gave a hugely positive outlook on turn-based combat in games because of the way they implemented skill and reaction time into it. I would rather see something like that be implemented into my Pokemon game than a full derailment from the turn-based combat and putting it into a strictly, free roam thing. Yeah. If they are going to stick with this kind of thing, I look forward to it if they can execute it in a more ergonomic way than I'm experiencing it here.
I totally agree. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I am cautiously pessimistic.
As it's always been, as it always will be, as it always has been.
Or maybe I'm hopefully pessimistic and you're cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
We can meet somewhere in the middle.
There it is. All right, let's cut it here.
Yeah.
In a surprisingly much longer episode, we both are like, all right, we're gonna cut
like,
it down.
how can we?
We're gonna try and make it shorter. And even today, we're like, all right, we gotta make sure that we cut it, solid. Nope, it is almost twice as long. No, we're almost at 3 hours.
I have a fantastic idea. Let's do 2 outros. One we can put halfway through and say you can stop here if you want, and the other one we'll just do the regular outro.
I don't even know.
Hey, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back with part 2 next week. We look forward to talking more about Legends ZA wearing the exact same clothes.
Thank you guys for watching for an entire 3 hours. We appreciate you sticking with us. And if you have any questions, we'll one day answer them. And we hope to see you in our next episode.
Yep.
Until next time, have a great one. Peace.